Greetings. Okay, let's put the mic in so you can hear me nice and clear. And I'm not going to hold you all long because it is Saturday. As soon as I sit down, you got the gangster link. There we go. There we go. Greetings, family. Happy Saturday for the third time. This is my third live today. Third live. Let's make sure we have sound. And we're going to hop right into this. Excuse me. I'm exhausted. I ain't even going to lie. So I feel like this case is really just getting. This case is I don't want to say it's getting out of control because it was already out of control. But let's see. Let me see. Do we have sound? Yes, we have sound. Okay. So this case has already been out of control from day one, right? Once we heard of the details of the 14-year-old being found in the trunk of David's a Tesla that was registered to David Burke, D4vd. We knew that this case was going to be a little crazy. I think we knew that, and now we're seeing that with the preliminary hearing, everything that's coming out. We're seeing how diabolical. Let me turn this down. We're seeing how diabolical and heinous this crime actually is, and whether he did it, in this in the legal system, you are innocent until proven guilty, right? I feel like I'm straight. Let me see. It doesn't look like I have the gangster lean. Let me see. Yeah, it looks straight. Okay. I don't know. The phone looks like it's on an angle. Let me move this because this is bothering me. This over here is bothering me because it's in the shot. This is bothering me too. I want to go swimming later on. It's Saturday. The blowout is done. Might as well go hop in the water, right? Okay. This is all of my workout stuff. And I'm just like, okay. I haven't finished unpacking my house, even though I've been here for almost a year. But hopefully I can do a lot of unpacking since the semester is done. God willing, right? Okay. Let's get this started. I'm not gonna say this party because it's not a party. It's really not. This is just the most heinous thing in the world that has happened to this young girl. So let's talk about some things. I have been okay, so let's start with this. How did this happen? How did this happen? And will the judge approve the trial of the state of California versus David Burke for the unaliving 187? Right? Instead of me using the M word, I'm just going to say 187. The 187 of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, based on the testimonies and evidence presented at the preliminary hearing in Los Angeles, California. Now, okay, so this preliminary hearing, I don't know. We know that in the state of California, they do the preliminary hearing, but do they do that for every case, or is it because this is such a high profile case? Because I don't see preliminary hearings for every case. And I could be wrong. I don't follow every case in California. Let me start off with this. My apologies for being late, but I have my therapy appointment, right? And mental health comes first, right? I don't know if you all know, but mental health for everyone should come first. I can't wait to lock my hair. I made the decision to lock my hair. So mental health comes first. So I had to finish up my mental health, my therapy appointment, right? That comes first. And it was from 4 to 5. So that's why I pushed the live from 5 o'clock to 5:15 because I needed to finish up my therapy appointment with my therapist. So please forgive the tardiness, but you know, always respect your mental health, right? Okay, so we heard that the preliminary hearing it was expected to last for 3 to 5 days, and as of day 4, which was yesterday, the judge has not issued a decision yet, right? So we know that a decision has not been issued yet. I'm trying to let me start this over because I want to make sure I can see y'all comments because last time I wasn't able to see y'all comments and my mic had died. I love Tisa Tells has this little thing that holds her mic. I love that. I think I want to buy that. I'm gonna put that on my Amazon wish list. So, okay. FYI, the chili came out delicious, and I will post a picture, the video from what happened today. So, the judge has not issued a decision for this case to go to trial yet, but let's talk about the evidence that was presented. The preliminary hearing did resemble a mini trial. And let's talk about per ABC 7, right? I want to talk about the events from the time they met up until now because, we heard about what happened once her body was discovered. And now everyone is on it, right? Because I mean, true crime is a thing. Where's my smoothie? True crime is a thing. And I feel like many of us are desensitized. I feel like society is desensitizing us. Boathouse. I got this for $157. Shout out to Fry's and their reduced red discounts. So, excuse me, one of the reasons why, like I said, I watch true crime is because I'm like, I can't believe half of this stuff happens. I'm really in awe of half of the crimes that happen. And I'm just like, what is wrong with, are these people humans? Or are they demons? Right? Do y'all believe that there are demons walking the earth? I should put up my computer and put up some questions, right? Some what are they called? Some polls while I'm doing this, right? Because I feel like some of these people are demons and they are just don't fall. Don't fall. I feel like some of these people are demons and they're just walking the earth amongst us. Ooh, y'all just saw my booty. She's getting there. She's getting there. So, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, where's the article? This is weird. So I sent the article to myself and it's not. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So now let's start here. Yes, old school. Shout out to Brian Enton. I have my little notes, right? I have been watching Brian and Mark the Shark because I think those are the only two YouTubers or streamers that I met out here in Tucson that is following the case that I've met personally, right? Shout out to both of them. So in January of 2022, David and Celeste met when she was just 11 years old. And 3 years later, she was taken out of this world. That's crazy, right? 11? He was 18. November, okay, so 21 months later, this is January of 2022. We are in July of 2026, just to remind you all, right? So 21 months later, in November of 2023, David and Celeste allegedly began an intimate relationship, which we know that depending on the state, depending on the state and the age, she couldn't consent, right? But he was 18 and she was 13, which is, he's an adult and she's 13. I feel like he was grooming her and she was too young and immature, because what if y'all have 11 and 13-year-olds, y'all know these children are, I'm still learning myself and I'm 47. What does an 11-year-old know? What does a 13-year-old know? What they do know is their body is changing and they're going through puberty, right? She may have had her menstrual cycle and things like that. So her body is changing, but I'm not going to sit here and say that she was mature enough to make a decision, a conscious decision, to be with a grown man. Now, some people may argue, well, an 18-year-old really doesn't know anything. Well, some 18-year-olds really don't know anything. But if you have an 18-year-old son, you should be talking to your son about, hey, if she's 13, you need to leave her the F alone. You shouldn't be pursuing an 11-year-old. Period. Pooh. So February 17th of 2024. So that was November, December, January, February. So 3 months later. So 3 months after they began a sexual relationship, they became intimate. Celeste and D4 and David. I'm calling him David. I'm not calling him D4vd. That sounds weird. So 3 months later, Celeste, a then 13-year-old 7th grader. She's in middle school. The then 13-year-old 7th grader, this is abc7.com, you all, is reported missing by her family from her Lake Elsinore home, right? February 17th, so that was just February of 2024. They're specific about the date now. February 17th, 2024, the Riverside County Sheriff Office reportedly calls David after they identified his phone number in Celeste's phone records. This is February 17, 2024. They met in January of 2022. So this is 12, 24, 25 months after they met, right? 25 months after their first meet, after David and Celeste first met, right? They first met. Why does it say David's first meet when Celeste was just 20? Okay, that's why they wrote it like that. So 25 months later, after they first met, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office reportedly they called David after they identified his phone number in Celeste's phone records. He allegedly told deputies he last talked to Celeste on February 13th or February 14th, but he claims he didn't know she was a minor and didn't know she had been reported missing. So just like remember that part, because there are some things that's going to come out later on where that is going to make a huge difference. When he says that he didn't know her age. But there are certain things that he did later on down the line where you have to know someone's age. He knew her age. And if let's just play devil's advocate. If he did not know her age, what do we tell young men? Hey, you better ask her age, ask to see her ID. Now, yes, that may seem a little weird, but nowadays you should ask. The girl that I just showed you all that was in the Gambia that was 15 years old, did she look 15? Some of these young ladies look older than they actually are. She didn't look 15, but she was. She is. And it may seem weird, but maybe to keep the person out of prison, right? Maybe it will keep them out of prison if they did ask for proof of age, period. So he says he claims he didn't know she was a minor and didn't know she had been reported missing. This was February 17th, 2024, right? A little over 2 years ago from now. Deputies then informed him that Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies would be visiting him at his home. At that time, he lived in West Hollywood. When deputies arrive at his home that same day, February 17th, that say they again tell him that Celeste is 13 years old and a runaway. So I feel bad for this young girl because she did not know what she was getting herself into. She didn't know. You running away to be with an 18-year-old. Of course, a lot of young girls are like, oh my God, my boyfriend is older. And, you know, it makes you feel more grown up. And he was a celebrity. I didn't know who he was, but he's not in my age bracket, right? But in her age bracket, he's a celebrity. So she was a runaway. We'll get to that. David allegedly tells them he was unaware of that and says he only met her in person once in November of 2023, right? When they first met. But they actually met, according to a court filing, they actually met January of 2022. So he was lying then, right? Per the court filing. I haven't seen the court filings. So David reportedly tells deputies he didn't know where she was, but Celeste returns to her Lake Elsinore home 2 days after the conversation. So this was February 17th of 2024. They tell him that she's a runaway. They contact David. They call him. They say, hey, you know, your phone number came up in Celeste's phone records. She's 13 years old. She's a runaway, blah, blah, blah. He says he didn't know she was a minor and he didn't know she was reported missing. But 2 days later, she goes back home. So now it says February of 2024. It doesn't specifically state a day. It just says February of 2024. Celeste's family reportedly takes her cell phone away after she returns home from being reported missing, right? So it seems like they were trying, the parents may have been trying to reprimand her and discipline her because she was being too grown, right? They took her phone away. So she's probably grounded. I'm taking your phone away because you ran away and, you know, after you were from being reported missing. So when she returns home, they took her phone. Prosecutors allege that David paid a junior high school student in Celeste's class $1,000 to give her a cell phone that he had purchased so they could keep talking. Now, since all of this stuff is coming out, it's really sad because we know people that, okay, so he's just a PDF file, right? PDF file, right? That's just what it is, right? Because he would have been arrested for statutory rape, period, right? That's what it would have been. but he was grooming her. We see this on other true crime shows, right? Where the parents are like, well, we don't want you, he's too old for you, you can't date him. So the person is still like, well, look, I still want her young behind, so I'm gonna pay somebody. Money was nothing to him, right? How much did they say he made the year that she was unalive? Like a 10 to 11 million. $1,000 is nothing for him. You're gonna pay a student $1,000 in her high school to give her a phone when her phone was taken away. And a young person is like, oh my God, he loves me, and the emotions, the hormones from the young people. This is sometimes young people unalive their girlfriend or their boyfriend, right? Because their emotions are jumping like a disco. The pair then spent a significant amount of time together in 2024, including weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling to Las Vegas, London, and even to Texas to meet David's family, prosecutors say. Now, let me just stop there. This was in February of 2024, a little bit over 2 years from now, a little bit over 2 years ago. Now, the reason why I said keep that in mind when he told detectives that he didn't know how old she was. Well, she couldn't pay for the plane tickets. We have children out here paying for plane tickets to go to Vegas and London and even to Texas. She didn't have the money for that, right? We know that she didn't have the money to be paying for plane tickets. So who paid for the plane tickets? Because every time I bought a plane ticket, whether it's for me, my mom, or whomever, I have to put the date of birth in, right? Because all of that is in, that has all of the stuff that you have to put in for your verification that you are who you say you are, that they have to check it against your real ID card, which people have now, or your passport, or your license. At that time, people could travel with their license. You have to put all that information into the computer, right? All right, I just want to make sure I still have sound. You have to put all of that information into the computer in order for you to travel. So if she's traveling with him, it says the pair spent a significant amount of time together in 2024, including weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills, traveling to Vegas, London. You took her out of the country, so she had to use her passport. So they were talking about seeing her passport photo and how young she looked. He knew she was underage. If you talk to an 11, 12, 13-year-old and you're an adult, you know that this person is a child by the way they're talking. They don't have the maturity or the experience, the life experience. So you know that they're a child. But he ignored that. He ignored that. And then you took her out of the country. I'm surprised they didn't charge him with you. You're taking a minor out of the country? Now, can you imagine what her parents were feeling like or what they felt like if she's spending weekends with him, she's going out of town, she's flying across to London? I feel bad because he did this to her. But she didn't know what type of danger she was in. That's the best way, because I don't want to victim blame, right? Young people, myself, when I was younger, I did some things that I shouldn't have done. And by the grace of God, I'm not dead, right? None of us are perfect when we're children. We push the envelope. We don't listen to our parents sometimes, even when they're telling us what's right. We don't, because we think we know everything when we're younger. Oh, they old, they stupid, they don't know anything, right? So she just didn't know what type of danger she was in with dealing with a grown man that is a celebrity. I shouldn't say this because he was actually a celebrity, right? He's doing concerts, whatever, whatever. I don't know what songs he made. The only song I heard was that weird song that it seemed like he was making about the girl, about the death, right? But he was a celebrity. So of course, a young person is like, I'm not listening to my mom. This dude loves me. We got tattoos that say shh, but she wasn't mature enough to understand. He wanted you, but he wanted you to keep his secret. Now, what if that secret got out? What is he going to do? I guess he thought that he could get away with it. I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty, but we're just talking about the evidence, and the evidence, like, did you do this? Well, she was found in your car that's registered to your name. Well, this is not, but this is another point I want to make. So that's about the plane tickets. So he knew her age, because whomever booked those flights, whether it was him, one of his handlers, whether it was his family member, whomever booked, whether it was her, but using his card, right? He's sitting there, okay, you book it. You knew how old she was. You can't say that you did not know how old she was, because someone paid for that plane ticket and it wasn't her. Where would she get all that money from? Where would she get thousands of dollars from to travel? And she's 13. It's not that much babysitting in the world. Now, it says even to Texas to meet David's family. So this is what bothers me sometimes with communities, humans, where they will know that something is not right. Now, they knew how his family, whomever it was, his mother, his father, his sister, his brother, I don't know. I know his mom is alive. I don't know about the dad. I didn't research his family. I think he has a brother, right? But I'm just saying, his family members, you think that they didn't know that this girl was 18 because they know how old he is, and they didn't say a word. I mean, the mom should have been like, Ninja, you better take her ass home, and I better not ever see you with her again, because if I do see you with her again, I'm gonna call the cops on your ass myself. That's what the mother should have said. But is it because he was making money? Because they said his mother and the financial dude was his financial manager. They were handling his money. That's what the defense was saying. So Brian Ensign made a good point. Is that what the defense is trying to create? The defense is trying to create, oh, well, he didn't do this to her because he didn't know how much money he had. I don't think that would work, because if I would have sat on a jury, I would have been like, this is probably why they won't have me on the jury, because my face shows everything. I'm like, all right, do my Africans suck my teeth? How I do it? Shoo. That's how people in Jersey, they were like, shoo. The family knew. You took the family, you took this girl, this 13-year-old, a fresh teenager, because 12 is a preteen. You took a teenager to Texas to meet your family, and no one said anything. No one threatened him. I don't care how much money you make, Ninja. You're not going to bring shame to the family, because now the family is shame. Because, I mean, not only did the girl end up unalive, she ended up brutally unalived, and then body violated, to the point where they're showing the pictures in the courtroom, and the body is so decomposed that they can't even tell that it's a human. I'm going to a murder trial here in Tucson. While I'm on break, I'm going to go to a murder trial. I'm going to see what murder trials are down there and more murder cases, and I'm going to go and sit in. I just want to see the process of a murder trial in the courtroom. But they couldn't even tell that it was a human. Arms in one bag, the head and the torso in another bag. What the F? The finger is missing. The hand is missing a finger. Well, I mean, why cut the finger off when you left the finger that has a tattoo that says shh, and then you got a matching tattoo on your ring finger that says shh, SHHHH. I don't know how many H's it is, but it's like shh. So why all of these things of let's keep this a secret? It's you lying to the detectives. I didn't know. I don't know her. I didn't know she was a minor. I didn't know she was 13. Oh, we've just met. Blah blah blah. Why? Because you knew how old she was. You knew her age. But I mean, maybe he thought, oh, well, I'm little. I'm like the same size as her, so I can date her. No. You go and find a little woman that is your age, right? You don't go and date. I mean, look at Kevin Hart and his wife. She tall as hell, but him and his first wife, they were like the same height. But you go and find someone your age. You don't go and find a little girl the same size as you. So I'm like, the family was wrong. His family was wrong for meeting this young teenager, fresh teenager, because she was only 13. It's not like she was 17. It's not like she was 16, right? She was preteen to teenager, a fresh teenager, and they didn't say a word. They were wrong. But are you really going to threaten someone that's making millions of dollars? That's your son, that's your brother, that's your cousin, that's your nephew. Are you going to threaten them like, hey, I'm going to tell. I'm going to call the police on you and I'm going to tell because you're going to bring shame to the family? Most people are not going to say that. They accept whatever because there's money involved. So I don't believe that he did not know her age. I don't believe that. I believe the family knew and everybody kept this a secret. And he thought, oh, I'm dating this 13-year-old. Nobody else really knows. He was on Twitch. He had her on social media. So did he really care about what people thought about her age? So much so that he took her to meet his family. That's just diabolical. So fast forward, April of 2024. Okay. April of 2024, Celeste is reported reported missing again by her family. So wait, hold on. Okay, so in February of 2024, she was reported missing. April of 20, so February, March, April. So 2 months later, now they report her missing again. September 7th of 2024, Celeste turns 14 years old. He should have moved her to the Midwest, right? Go to the Midwest then. Go to a state where the age of consent is young, is super young, and then you can marry her. But in LA, he was in the wrong state. Some of these states are just like, no. Some of the other states is like, oh, she's 17. Oh, she can get married. I mean, she's 14. She can get married with the parents' permission. So September 7th of 2024, she turns 14. November of 2024, David and Celeste reportedly break up, but continue to communicate. And prosecutors say their texts suggest that they also continue to have an intimate relationship. I mean, there are adults that break up and then they're still smashing, right? Shouldn't. You break up, cut that off. He shouldn't still be able to have fun with you. Y'all broke up. For whatever reason, y'all broke up, cut him off, right? Greetings. Let me see. I don't know who that is. Um, Greetings. Happy Saturday. Hey, Purple Love. So if you break up, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Deuces. Don't still let him have fun with you. And you fight to having fun with him. Because if y'all break up, you broke up for a reason. That's just a little side thing. But Adults do it. So of course a 13-year-old is going to be on some old, okay, right? So they reportedly broke up in November of 2024, but prosecutors say that their text suggests that they were still having an intimate relationship. Prosecutors say a text from Celeste to David says, all we do is have schmecks and just hang out, man. I want more than that from myself. Whoa. This was March of 2025, right? So maybe she was realizing, even her being young, and I didn't read this. I'm reading this with you all. A lot of times I want the shock value myself, right? So in March of 2025, she texted him and said, all we do is smash and just hang out, because he was just using her. I want more than that for myself. Then she should have been dating someone her age. And when I say dating, I don't believe in 13-year-olds dating. That's just, I'm different. You're behind boys and books. I'm not scratching my butt. I'm scratching my hip, y'all. Boys and books don't mix. Okay? Boys and books don't mix. Even as 47-year-olds, boys and books do not mix. Because the dude want all my time. I'm like, hey, I got to study. Hey, I want to talk. No, I got to study. I ain't got time for your ass. That's me. Now imagine a 13-year-old. They should be focused on school. You want to hang out? You hang out at a group. Oh, mom, you're not hanging out with this boy by yourself. You're 13. Maybe when you're 16, you can date. You're 13. I don't believe in 13-year-olds dating. But some of these new age parents be like, oh, her boyfriend, they've been dating since they were 9. What the hell? What the hell? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe in letting children be children. They have enough time to date and be grown when they get older. Let them be children. Because if they're dating, what's going to happen sooner or later? Them feelings and this, and someone's going to end up pregnant. And then what happens? Well, their childhood is, oh, he broke up because he just was trying to get his little wet. He wasn't trying to, at 13, oh, they're going to get married. What? I don't know what these parents be thinking. I really don't, unless they are vicariously living through their children. I don't know what these parents be thinking to allow a 13-year-old to date. That's just me. I don't have any children, so what do I know? What do I know? Right? So girlfriend realized she wanted more. What more can she have with him? She's 13. Okay, I'm sorry. She turned 14. She's 14. She was 14. Right? She wanted more. I want more than that for myself. What can he actually give her? Can she go on tour with him and be on the red carpet? No. No. He's 18. But probably by that time, he's 19. 19-year-old. Who is he? What is that guy's name? Jerry Lee Lewis? He's not Jerry Lee Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis went, is that his name? The one that was dating his cousin? Or what's his cousin? The dude that was I think he played the guitar or something. He was a rock star. And he was dating an underage girl and took her to Europe. Right? And then talk ish about it. I was like, what in the hell is going on here? So he can't, she wanted to probably be seen rather than just on social media. She wanted to be by his side. That was never going to happen because he was older and she was underage. He knew what type of trouble he would get in messing with this young girl, but that's why it was just hiding, right? All we do is hang out and have schmecks. That's all he wanted because he's a whatever file, right? That's all he wanted. He knew he couldn't take her anywhere. So this was in March of 2025. April 22nd. Oh, he started as a video game streamer. I didn't know that. He's now under, okay, he started as a video game streamer. I don't know who he is, y'all. He's super young. I don't know who he is. I don't know any of the music that he makes. I don't know. So April 22nd of 2025, David and Celeste reportedly get into a lengthy argument in which Celeste threatens to disclose information about their relationship to end David's career and destroy his life. Ooh. This is where she didn't know what type of danger she was putting herself in. Some adults don't understand that type of danger, right? When a woman is messing with a married man and she's tired of being the side chick, and I'm talking about a woman, an adult, right? 20, 30, 40, and they're not getting what they want, and they threaten, you said you was gonna leave your wife, you ain't leave your wife, blah blah blah. I'ma tell her. There was a true crime story I saw recently. She told the wife. He unalived her ass. So unfortunately, this 14-year-old did not know what type of danger she was putting herself in, right? They get into a lengthy argument, April 22nd, 2025, in which Celeste threatens to disclose information about their relationship. So she knew, and he knew what was up. April 23rd, 2025, Celeste was known to be alive when she arrived at David's rented home in the Hollywood Hills on April 23rd, 2025. David allegedly sends an Uber to pick up Celeste. Y'all probably know this, right? This has been all over the news. David allegedly sends an Uber to pick Celeste up from her Lake Ensenada home and bring her to his house around 8:40 p.m. Now, this is the thing, people use technology so much, and it's like, Ninja, you use an Uber. You had a better chance of calling a taxi. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Now there's proof that she came to your house on the 23rd. So March of 2025, within, I don't know when in March, right? When they had this lengthy argument and she threatened to expose their relationship. No, this was April 22nd, right? So March of 2025, she's like, I want more. April 22nd, she's like, okay, I'll threaten to end your career. No, that's the wrong thing. You don't do that. You do not do that. Because he's a celebrity, he's making money, he's thinking about the money he's making, this, that, and the third, and we see what happened. So he calls, now behind the scenes, he purchased a shovel. So I guess he was thinking about, how am I going to unalive her? Because people in emotions, they unalive someone and then they're like, well, damn, now I got this body. What am I supposed to do with it? Right? Because people think it's easy to get rid of a body. No matter how small the person is, that's dead weight. You trying to lift dead weight. He bought a shovel. He bought a black burn box. So he was thinking about how I'm going to get rid of her. That's in my mind, right? This is my opinion based on the evidence that was presented by the prosecutor at the preliminary hearing, all of the things that he purchased. He was thinking about how to get rid of her. That's premeditated 187. So he allegedly sends an Uber to pick her up at 8:40 p.m. from her house. Right? Now she doesn't know what she's walking into. Maybe she thought, or who knows about the conversation. All right, I'm gonna, he could have told her what he wanted, what she wanted to hear. I got you, right? We're gonna come out and I'm gonna show the world that you're my girlfriend. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. But unfortunately, if she threatened to end his career by talking about their relationship, then in her mind and in her heart, she should have known that You can't even do that, right? If he, and I'm just speculating, if he told her, all right, Celeste, come on over and we'll talk about it, and I'm going to let the world know that you're my girl. We're going to get married. We're going to be together. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. The first thing is she should have thought, I'm not of age. You're not of age. This is not going to work. But she's 14. The level of maturity is not there. The life experience is not there. So Celeste reportedly arrives. I don't know why I did this, but Celeste reportedly arrives around 10:10 p.m. 10:10. David reportedly texts her and asks where she is at 10:30. But prosecutors believe she was already gone. She was already dead by this time. And the texts were part of a premeditated plan to cover up her 187. Excuse me. So she arrived there at 10:10. And then he sends the text at 10:30. That's 20 minutes. So that means in 20 minutes, he unalived her. He was waiting for her. That's where the lie in wait charge comes up, right? Because he was charged with, he was booked without bail. They was like, you ain't gonna run. He was later formally charged with first degree 187 in the teen's death, among other charges. Where are the other charges? The charges following a months-long investigation that began with Celeste identified, decomposed, dismembered. Okay, all right. So I know one of the charges is lying in wait. He allegedly called an Uber for her at 8 something. She got to the house at 10:10. He waited. He could have changed his mind during that time. But from what we see with psychopaths and sociopaths, all of this stuff they're already in a different state of mind if they have made this decision to unalive someone. Things are just rolling over in their mind over and over and over and over. Whether they amping themselves up to do it or whatever the situation is, right? But that's where the lie in wait comes from, the premeditated plan. So prosecutors allege that shortly after she arrived, David multiple times and watched her bleed out. David then leaves his home around 11:30 p.m. and drives to an area near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County, all while texting and calling Celeste's phone, prosecutors say. Then it says this April 23rd of 2025 is the same day that tickets for David's world tour go on pre-sale. Now he was about to go on tour. Of course, he's thinking about his career. And then the day before, they get into this lengthy argument, and she's like, "I'm going to let the world know about our relationship, blah, and destroy your career." And the next day, he asks her to come over. He lying in wait, and he's trying to set up his alibi. So within 20 minutes of her getting there, he's straight up. Now the sad thing is God only knows what he said to her before he plunged that into her, right? God only knows. But I guarantee you, this young girl, this young 14-year-old inexperienced girl said to herself, my parents was right. Probably, oh shit, I done fucked up. My parents was right. Someone that says they love you and they love you so much that they take your life because he knew he was doing something wrong. Now, whether all of this, he unalived her, because all this is alleged, right? It's just that there is evidence that supports the prosecutor's line of events. This is why this is why they're having this preliminary hearing for the judge to say, okay, y'all showed enough evidence. He's going on trial. I think that they're going to go after the 187 penalty. That's my personal opinion. I think that they're going to go after the 187 penalty for him. He will never be put to death in California. There are people that have been convicted and sent to death row, and they are still on death row, and the victim's parents are dead and gone. How does the convict, the convicted felon, outlive the victim's parents? I don't know what the hell California is doing, but they're sure, in my opinion, wasting taxpayers' money. They're wasting the taxpayers' money keeping these people alive when the jury has already said, all right, they're gone. But that's California. So within 20 minutes, so now he goes to Santa Monica Pier, Santa Barbara, right? Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking he's thinking about, how do I get rid of this body? Right? Because he sat back, he allegedly sat in wait till she got there, unalived her, watched her. How you gonna watch somebody bleed? But you saying you love her, but she was just a piece of meat to him. He just wanted to hang out and smash. You're a celebrity. You can have any woman of age. We see R. Kelly sitting in prison for 30 years. You can have any woman of age. There's something wrong with your brain. April 24th, 2025. So I think he went to that lake to sit back and, oh my God, banging in the car. What did I just do? Why did you make me do this? This is in my mind of what he's saying, right? Why did you make me do this? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And he thinking, probably crying, right? Can I get away with this? I don't ever want to be in that position. If I'm around somebody that makes me want to unalive them, I'm getting the hell away from you. I'm not going to jeopardize my life for that. April 24th. So this was on April 23rd, 2025, that they alleged that she was unalive, right? In his Hollywood Hills home. April 24th, 2025, David reportedly returns to his Hollywood Hills home after driving to Santa Barbara County. I don't know why I keep saying Santa Monica. I'm thinking about Santa Monica Pier. But Santa Barbara County, he allegedly sends 2 more texts to the teen's phone. So he's calling, where you at? Text, where you at? But never attempts to contact her again after April 26th. Because he knew she was unalive, allegedly. David goes to a radio interview to promote his new album. Now, that's a true sociopath. I feel like the whole time he was thinking about, I'm about to go on tour, right? Because I don't know if y'all saw, there's a video where it's like a meet and greet, and the girl walks up and he went to, look it up. It's on YouTube. That's what I saw. He goes to shake, and then he's looking. She looks just like Celeste. Hair, body type, looks just like Celeste. And he probably was looking at her like, you're haunting me, right? Like, I killed you, allegedly. What are you? You should read the comments to that. He probably pooped in his pants. So you unalive this girl, and then you go on a radio interview to promote your album. David orders a shovel, okay? All right, so here is what he ordered, right? So he orders a shovel. Now this is where the premeditation plan comes into play, right? He called her, he lied in wait for her. She got there, now she's gone, right? Now this is why I say he went to the lake like, oh my God, how am I gonna get rid of this body? So now The 24th. So allegedly, they think she was unalived on the 23rd, right? So the 24th, he promote his album, this, that, and the third. But that night, I'm assuming that night, it just says the 24th. The way it's written, I'm like, okay, he probably ordered the shovel that night, because it says he goes on a radio interview to promote his new album. You know, he returned to his Hollywood home earlier that day. He sent 2 more texts. That's the first thing from April 24th. He sent 2 more texts, but never attempts to contact her again after April 25th. So he goes and he does his interview to promote his new album, radio interview. And then the last bullet, it says David orders a shovel from Home Depot that is delivered to his home via Postmates, according to court documents. So now he's thinking, how the hell do I get rid of this body? So he's thinking, oh, I'll bury her. Right? You order a shovel. April 25th, singer David releases his debut studio album, Withered. Now, maybe he thought he was a gamer, a video game streamer. Maybe he thought, oh, well, this is what they do in the video games. I can get away with it. I don't know. I don't think he was dealing with reality. Not that he is insane. I just don't think that he thought this out. That's what I think. I think he was thinking about his career. He was thinking about his debut album coming out, and she threatened to end his career because he wasn't giving her what she wanted, right? And he was like, okay, I'm gonna unalive her because look, I got a little money. I'm living this way. I'm not going back to being poor. Who knows? But that's how I feel in my mind. That's how I think, right? That's what I think he thought. The music video for the song One More Dance debut depicts David placing, holy shit. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. This is crazy. April 25th, the music video for the song One More Dance depicts David placing a bloodied body into the trunk of a car. What the hell? Y'all remember he made the video about, what was it called? The song? I can't remember the song. But he made a video. I mean, he made a song, and I can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up. But when I looked up the words, I was like, what in the world? Just a very dark song. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming he recorded the video. The video, it debuted, right? The music video for the song One More Dance. That came out on April 25th, 2025. So if she was murdered, if she was unalive on April 23rd, when did he shoot that video? Right? Because I'm thinking he shot the video before the 25th. He didn't shoot it on the 24th because he was out doing a radio interview to promote his album. So I'm assuming that he shot the video before that. Was he thinking about unaliving this girl way before then? Was he just using her until he got... Y'all, I wish I lived in LA. Well, I mean, it's a lottery anyway. But this is crazy. This is absolute craziness. This case, when everything comes out, I'm gonna be glued to the Brian Enton. What you doing, right? Brian, you probably don't watch my channel, but I need to tell you that I did finish my college algebra class with an A. He knew. I told him from the beginning. He was, but y'all didn't hear that. The internet messed up. I'm happy it did mess up at that time. But he was like, oh my God, math. Oh, you would have to tutor me. Shout out to Brian Enton. I'm happy Tay got a chance to feed you, right? So April 25th, that's what the video depicts David placing in the trunk of a car. That's crazy that that's what you did, allegedly, right? That she was found, whether you did it or not, right? That she was found in the trunk of your Tesla, a Tesla that was registered to you. They just destroyed that Tesla. They could have gave me that Tesla. I would have drove the hell out of that Tesla. So we have May 1st, 2025. Prosecutors say David orders 2 chainsaws on Amazon that are delivered to his Hollywood Hills home. So at first, on the 24th, he orders a shovel. So in my mind, I'm like, he doesn't know what he's going to do with this body. Was her body in his house the whole time? What does the forensics say? Hopefully that's in here. I don't know what the forensics says. Like the forensics team, the crime, CSI, criminal scene, criminal, CSU. I think it's a CSU unit, crime scene unit. That's what it is. CSU, the crime scene unit. We saw that. The people that watch my membership, y'all saw that I went to a home where the husband unalived his wife and the two dogs, y'all. Right here in Tucson. Hot Mess Nation. Hot Mess Nation. So I wonder, did the crime scene unit find blood in the garage or wherever she was unalived at in his home, right? Is that Saint? Greetings. Let me see. I can't see. Hey, Saint. Shout out to Auntie. I can't wait to meet her either, right? That's my sister from another mother and father. Hope you're having a great Saturday, sister. We're talking about the preliminary hearing for David Burke in regards to the unaliving of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So April 25th, April 24th, after he went and did his radio interview to promote his album, his new album, right? He bought a shovel from Home Depot and had it delivered via Postmates to his home per court documents. So that's 24. A week later, on May 1st, prosecutors say David orders 2 chainsaws on Amazon that are delivered to his Hollywood Hills home. So I don't know what home the shovel was delivered to, but it says his home. So I'm assuming it's the Hollywood Hills home, right? He allegedly made that purchase using a fake name. He had a couple of aliases, y'all. He had a couple of aliases that he ordered things under. May 5th, 2025, David orders a body bag. Now, 23rd, let's count these days, right? April 23rd, they assume that was he allegedly sends an Uber, so they think that she was unalived on April 23rd, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. April has 30 days or 31. I'm not sure. I think it's 30, but let me just double check. It has 30 days. So April 23rd, she was unalived. That was a Thursday, right? Allegedly, she was unalived by David in his Hollywood Hills home. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I just said 30 days, right? So 30 makes 7 days, right? So now we add May 5th? May 5th. So that's a week. The 30th makes 1 week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 12 days after she came to his home, allegedly through an Uber that he sent for her, he orders body bags. David orders, I'm gonna get to that comment, Saint. David orders a body bag, a heavy duty laundry bags. Let me get it correct. 12 days after she allegedly was unalived at David's home, David orders a body bag, heavy duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool on Amazon. We know what the pool is for, right? So the sangre, for those who speak Spanish, right, doesn't go everywhere. This is according to court documents. He reportedly used the same fake name to order those things. He had a better chance of going to a store to get this, right? But everywhere, Big Brother, we are on camera all the time. That's why I don't even know why people would commit crimes. Like, commit a crime for what? You never know when you're on camera. Prosecutors believe Celeste's body was the M word, right? On May 5th. 12 days after she was unalive. Can you imagine 12 days? California is warm, right? Was he in a freezing house? Did he turn the temperature all the way down? Did he put her in a freezer to preserve? Because your body is going to start smelling. Decomposition. Her remains were, y'all know, it wasn't membered. It was dismembered. And 2 of her were never recovered. Ha! Hold on, I'm going to get to that, including one that prosecutors allege was tattooed with David's name. So, okay, he got rid of that one because they had the matching tattoo, right? He's trying to get rid of all the evidence. But what if his DNA was under those nails? I feel like he was just trying to get rid of the evidence of him linking himself. Allegedly, he was trying to get rid of the evidence of him being linked to her. But y'all texting, you calling, she's on video with you, right? You got all these young girls in your home. I don't care that you're small. Go get a small woman. But if you are sick in the brain, then what happens? If he's sick in the brain, he wanted her. For some reason, he wanted her and he wanted to conquer her. And when she realized, I want more than this, all you want to do is take advantage of my body and hang out. I deserve more. If you don't give me more, then I'm going to tell the world about our relationship and destroy your career. And that's where everything went to crap. Now, May 8th, 2025, David allegedly returns to the same area in Santa Barbara County. I'm telling you, in my mind, I feel like he was thinking, how do I get rid of her body? God bless you, Saint. Thank you, sister, for the super chat. Jenny Canton, thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. Welcome. I want to put, give me 1 second, you all. I want to put this article in, I'm going to put it in the chat. Oh, I think I could put it in the chat. Let me see if the live is up. I don't think the live is up. I can only do that on my computer, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's not up. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the chat. So that way, if y'all want to see this, you can see it. Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, okay. So y'all can see this. Y'all can follow along with me. This is my little teacher moment, right? Here you go. Follow along with Tay. Follow along with the teacher. Thank you, Saint. I love you, sister. I'm coming to see you soon. So I feel like he kept going to this lake and kept going to Santa Barbara County because he was trying to find out, what am I going to do with this girl's body? She's been in my house for 12 days. 12 days she's been in my house and she's unalive. I hope she haunts his ass the way Trayvon Martin is haunting Zimmerman. I heard he homeless and everything. I said, I just feel like if you do this to someone and you unalive them and you take their life, that their spirit should be able to come back and haunt you whenever they want. That's how I feel. I'm not God, but that's how I feel. Because it's not fair. It's not fair. And I know that if he, whatever the situation is, if he unalived her, whatever the situation is, when he saw that girl that looked like her, that had the same curly hair, was dressed like her in a black shirt and blue jeans, and the way he went, he just went to shake hands. I believe that in his heart, she's haunting him. He closes his eyes and he sees that because she was a child and he used her and then he unalived her allegedly, right? So this says he returned to the same area on May 8th. May 31st, and we're still in 2025, y'all. We still haven't even hit 2026 yet. David allegedly returns to the same area in Santa Barbara County for the third time. So he went the first time on April 23rd, right? That night. He leaves his home around 11:30 and drives to the area. I think they were checking like his phone, so that's how they know. So he went to Santa Barbara County on April 23rd, the night that prosecutors say that she was unalived in his home, right? Then on May 8th, he allegedly returns to the same area. Then on May 31st, David allegedly returns to the same area for the third time. Where was her body this whole time? Jesus help me. June 7th, David allegedly orders a burn cage on Amazon under the same fake name and a plan to incinerate evidence. Now, I want to see what a burn cage is. Maybe y'all know what a burn cage is. I don't know what a burn cage is, right? So let me just, oh wait, hold on. I want to see what a burn cage is. Oh, they found a missing 60-year-old Tucson woman. I wish they would find Nancy Guthrie. Amazon burn cage. Oh, okay. This is what a burn cage looks like. Y'all may know what it looks like. I didn't. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is weird. This is weird. So I just click anyone. I don't know. Let me see. It says Amazon. So let me look at the one for Amazon. Amazon burn cage. 67 gallons. Let's look at this one. You see it? So I don't know if that is it, but I think that this looks like, right? How can I say this? I don't know what burn cage they showed at the preliminary hearing, the one that he purchased, but I just searched Amazon. This is on Amazon, and it's a burn cage because I want to see what it looks like, right? The burn box, right? Let me see. So on May 31st, that's what he ordered, a burn cage. Now that says burn box, but cage box, I'm thinking that that's what it looks like, right? This was on July 7th, 7/7 last year, 2025, and under the same fake name, and they think that that was a plan to incinerate the evidence. Let me read these comments. This is crazy, right, Saint? This is crazy. This is so sad. The parents need to be in trouble too for allowing her to date him. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. My gosh, I was not following this case. This is insane. Do you know if they had a psychic evaluation, a psych evaluation on this man? I don't know. I know that there are some YouTubers that are talking about his psych, his psych, uh, his psychological thinking or something like that, and it just says that he's evil. That's what it says. But I don't think he's criminally or mentally insane because he's making sane decisions, right? He's making sane decisions. He is purchasing things to get rid of the body. He's per the preliminary hearing, the evidence that the prosecutors have presented, he was making conscious decisions to allegedly unalive her because she was going to expose 6'6". She was going to expose him for the relationship. She knew the relationship wasn't kosher. She knew that relationship that she shouldn't been with him. She should not have been with him. She knew. He knew. So I don't think that he can say that, oh, I lost my mind. I blacked out. I was insane. He made too many conscious decisions to get rid of the body. Who dismembered the body? He made too many conscious decisions. So it says July 29th, David allegedly parks his Tesla on the Hollywood Hills street where it was later towed from. Prosecutors allege he was the last person seen driving it, and surveillance videos show him driving the Tesla on this date. Now, on September 7th, 2025, Celeste would have turned 15 years old. Now, it goes from July 29th to her birthday must be September 7th. She would have turned 15. Now, this is why I say, like, he may have premeditated, he may have made, he may have thought about this before the fact, that which makes it a premeditated plan, premeditated 187. But I don't think that he thought about after the fact what he was going to do. Because let's just play devil's advocate. The car is registered to his name, whether it has Texas plates or California plates. The car is registered to him. The body is dismembered and is put in the trunk. And surveillance videos show that he was the last person driving it. Prosecutors allege he was the last person seen driving it. And surveillance videos, which that's not alleged. If there's surveillance videos, shows him driving the Tesla on that date. Why would he think that that wouldn't be linked back to him? That's why I feel like he may have he premeditated the 187, but impulsively did it and didn't think about how I'm gonna get rid of her body. You're going back and forth to this lake, but you didn't get rid of her body in the lake. So the body is left in his registered car. Doesn't he know that that's going to link back to him? This is why I say it doesn't make sense. Like, if he impulsively did this, he should have known sooner or later her body's going to smell, but stupid. Air fresheners? You had a better chance of putting the body in line and cement. We see that people do that. Put it down a well. Took the parts, put them in different bags, put some cement in there, and drop it in the lake. Right? But you left it in your car. Leaving something in a car that's registered to you is going to link back to you. That makes no sense. This is why I feel like I don't feel like that was the end of what was supposed to have been done with her body, because that just doesn't make any sense. You're going to leave the body in your car. Oh, my phone tripping. You're going to leave the body in a car that's registered to you, whether it's your car or not, but it's registered to you, and just leave it on the street. So the car is getting dust and all this, and the Hollywood Hills is money, 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 money. They're going to be like, well, who car is this? And why is this car? This car has been sitting here for all this time. We need to get it towed. Now it's towed. It's in the impound. And air fresheners. It was multiple air fresheners in the car. That's not going to cover up a body. I don't ever want to smell a dead body. They said if you smell a dead body, you will know that smell. That smell is there you know that smell if you smell it again, right? Shout out to the homicide detectives, because they got to see all this. That's just, no wonder why they be, some of them, it's just, you're seeing too much stuff that normal people, regular citizens, do not see on a daily basis, right? That's what it looks like, Saint, that he allegedly, somebody dismembered her body. But it's on the prosecutors to show beyond a reasonable doubt that he's the one that did it. If the judge decides that the evidence that has been presented with the witnesses and everything all together shows reasonable doubt, or proof, not reasonable doubt, shows proof they have that the evidence backs up, or is, how can I say this? That enough evidence and witnesses prove, not prove, but shows that, yeah, he needs to go to trial for this. He needs to be, tried for this. And the way it's looking, all of this, yo, the prosecutor, we're not done. The prosecutors got a lot of evidence. They got a lot of evidence. So they presented a lot of evidence. I don't see the judge saying, no, y'all didn't present enough evidence that this case is going to trial. I don't see that. I see him going to trial, and I see them trying him for the death penalty. That's what I see. That's what I see. Yes, because what he did, this is crazy. But let's get into this because I want to talk about the family as well, her family. So, oh wow, this is a lot. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, so let me see. So this says September. Where are we? Okay, so that was July, September 7th, September 28th. Okay, so September 8th, prosecutors state a 2023 Tesla Model Y registered to David at a Texas address tied to his family is towed from an upscale Hollywood Hills neighborhood where it appears abandoned. At a tow yard, LAPD investigators find a cadaver bag in the vehicle's front truck, because Teslas have their electric cars, so the trunk is in the front of the car, right? Described in court documents as covered with insects, emitting a strong odor of decay. Detectives partially unzip the bag and observe a decomposed head and torso. The loss. Now, let me just say this. This is September 8th. April 23rd is when they think she was unalive in his home. April 23rd. So April, May, June, July, August, September. That's almost 5 months. 4 months and some change that she was in. Well, I ain't gonna say she was in the trunk for that time, because it looks like he didn't buy anything. He bought everything on May 5th, right? So 12 days, I think I counted 12 days after she was allegedly unalived in his home, 6/6, that's when he bought the bags. But that's from May. Where did he keep her body from May? Wait, they said the last time he drove the car, the last time he was seen driving the car was July 29th. So from May to July 29th, from the beginning of May 5th to July 29th, where was she in the house? Is that why the house where he was staying was so dirty and whatever? I don't know. They just said food was everywhere. I don't know the state of mind of someone that may have unalived someone. I don't know the state of mind, right? But it wasn't until September 8th. So he allegedly parked the car on July 29th, and on September 8th, they found her in the front trunk of the Tesla. So it says detectives partially unzipped the bag. The Los Angeles County medical examiner later determines the arms and legs have been severed. A second black bag beneath the first contains additional dismembered parts of the body. David is on tour at the time of the discovery. September 16th, the remains are identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez from dental records belonging to the victim, because she was so, her body was so decomposed that it didn't even look like a body. They said the detectives was like, what is this? No. Someone in the courts. Brian said someone's in the courtroom said, what is this? The judge, somebody said, what is this? Investigators say Celeste has an index finger tattoo. I don't know if it's the left or right hand, reading SHHH, similar to Davis D4D, the Davis tattoo, similar to a tattoo David has. And I guess that was him showing, you're mine. We're in this together. On tour, he did that and went on tour. Sis, he did that allegedly on the 23rd of April 2025, and then April 24th of 2025, the next day, he was on a radio interview promoting his new album. So if he allegedly did this, If he allegedly did this, like, that's sociopathic behavior. If you, what he's doing now in court, his lawyer is rubbing his back, right? And they said that that's just a ploy, right? To say he's human, to act like he's human. But he's smiling. He has no emotion in court. This boy is a sociopath, in my opinion. That's sociopathic behavior. I couldn't listen to the trial. It is gruesome and psycho what he did. Denise Ann, yes. Brian Enton talks about the lottery and how people get there at 7 something in the morning, and some people are they cheering when they're able 7 when they're able to go inside, and then other people are sad that they are not able to go inside. It was no judgment, right? He was just like, it's just kind of weird that people are cheering, and this is such a horrible, this is a heinous crime. And there can't be any no recording, no, like, even they can have, they were saying that they can have the journalists can have their laptop, but they cannot do any streaming, right? They can't stream anything until they are on break, right? They can't release anything. Now, there was a reporter in there that was a female. They didn't say her name, but she had a Google document in which she was sharing it with someone, a streamer, a YouTuber, or something, and there was a screenshot. They showed it to someone that is overseeing the journalist, and the person that was overseeing the journalist to make sure that they were abiding by the rules. They were walking up and down the aisle, and they're looking at their computers, and they said, "Who's streaming? Who's streaming?" The woman got in trouble. She had to woman up and say it, and I think she was reprimanded, right? Imagine being reprimanded in front of everybody in the courtroom by the judge or whomever for streaming. So they were afraid that they weren't going to be able to bring their laptop to be able to, because they, like, Brian and the woman was like, you're typing up your story at the same time, and you're ready. As soon as they break, you go out of the courtroom, you can send it where it's less work for you. But they were saying that they were nervous that because of what the woman did, that they're not going to be able to use their laptop. That was the last thing I heard from Brian and the woman that works for LA Magazine, I think, Los Angeles Magazine or something like that. It's horrible because they had to show these pictures. And the woman, I think her name is Lauren, she interviewed with Brian Enton interviewed her, and 7-7. It was like, she was like, within an hour, the prosecutor is showing these pictures, but she said that Brian said the prosecutor will look back at the family, the husband and wife, because they were sitting at the front in the front row. Her father, Celeste's father, and her stepmom, right? They were sitting in the front row, and it's like the prosecutor would basically, without saying a word, he's looking at them like, basically we're about to show something very gruesome. So Brian said that they will put their head down, right? But at some point in time, they put their head up and they were crying. We're going to talk about them. I have some notes about the family. So it says on September 17th, 2025, the police execute a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David has been staying. I think we remember seeing that. Detectives are observed removing a computer and other items, according to law enforcement sources. Remember, somebody that lives there was recording as he was walking past, right? They zoomed in. So that they weren't right there at the road, but they zoomed in because they heard, and they heard, open the door, blah, blah, blah. And then they came downstairs, right? So rich people are nosy too. LAPD reportedly finds evidence inside the garage consistent with the dismemberment of Celeste's body. Samples tested positive for sangre, blood, and match the teen's DNA, according to the court documents. So it is alleged that this was done in the garage, right? But he should have bought that stuff before the fact. If you're going to premeditate something, then you need to be like Dexter and have that plastic, because that sangre it just streams. It goes into, in the garage. That's cement. That's going to seep into that cement. That sangre is going to seep into the cement. And they have what? They spray it with luminol and it lights up. So they found evidence, right? That was on September 17th, and they took him out in handcuffs, right? He knew they were coming. That's why when they found his body, he canceled his tour, right? The tour was canceled when they found her body, but he was stupid. Why would you leave her body in the car if you did this, David, allegedly? Why would you leave her body in the car? Don't you know in a car that's registered to you? That's just dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. You should have called Ray Donovan, okay? Or what's that woman's name? Kerry Washington from Scandal. You should have called Olivia Pope. I guess you weren't that big in the media world because they do have fixers, right? They do have fixers. They're not making shows about Ray Donovan and Olivia Pope if they don't have people to fix things. So I guess he wasn't that big. September 19th, 2025, David cancels the remaining. See, so they found the body and they execute the search warrant on September 17th, and then September 19th, he cancels the remaining dates of his scandal, right? That's what she was a fixer. He cancels the remaining dates of his US tour amid the escalating investigation. Like, he could have had a great career if he wasn't messing with an 11-year-old until she was 13 or 14. He could have had a great career. He made 10 to 11,000. He made 10 to 11 million dollars in 2025, the year that she was unalive. So his Los Angeles concert and a scheduled appearance at the LA Grammy Museum September 24th are removed from venue websites, right? Now they like, we cutting you off, Ninja. September 23rd, 2025, Eyewitness News learned David transfers ownership of one of his Texas homes to his mother in the prior month. Now, they were talking about that. Him transferring ownership is, his financial manager told him to do that. And the financial manager did testify at the preliminary hearing. And when he said that, Brian said that the people in the audience, the people that were there, I mean, that makes sense, right? It makes sense. The financial manager is there to manage his money. No matter what, that's his job. No matter how he feels about this dude, that's his job, right? So, of course, he said that they did that in preparation, or they were thinking that the family was going to sue civilly. So it's like, let's move this to the mother's name. But why didn't the mother say anything about him dating this young girl? Because in many communities, they keep stuff a secret, right? Uncle Johnny messing with everybody, but they never said anything about Uncle Johnny. Uncle Johnny ain't never go to jail, but every girl they say, stay away from Uncle Johnny. Don't be in a room with Uncle Johnny. Why not just send Uncle Johnny ass to jail? So that way these girls can have regular lives. Just saying. So September 25th, Celeste's body is officially released to her family from memorial services, right? Wait, what did Denise Ann say? That David is like Ted Bundy. I am wondering if he had done this to other girls. Well, sister, someone dismembering people has killed before, in my opinion. Sister, that is very interesting. He was very open with showing her on Twitch and on streaming. He was very open with her being around and people knowing. He went to London, took her to Texas to see his family, right? But then he tells the detectives, oh, I didn't know her age. You knew her age because you booked her. You paid for the plane tickets. She didn't pay for those plane tickets. So you knew her age. Someone knew her age. And nobody said anything. Not his family, not her family. Straight up, PDF file, straight up. So okay, so it says September 29th, 2025, Celeste's death certificate is released. Listing the cause of death as undetermined. Of course, they cannot determine her death because her body is so decomposed. But someone did say that Brian interviewed that there was a crack in her rib. How do the Gambians, they don't carry guns in Gambia, right? It's the KNIFE. So a young girl at the age of 14 shouldn't have any cracked ribs. It shouldn't be. So that's why they think they said it was trauma to her liver. So they think that that the person that unalived her used a knife. So it says, sources tell ABC this is due to the advanced decomposition and dismemberment of her remains. They couldn't tell how, they couldn't determine the cause of death. So the autopsy will show, okay, so let's look at her body then. Was there, were there bones in her neck that were broken that shows strangulation? But they think it was the knife. This poor young girl had to suffer so much. I just, Denise Ann, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be in the courtroom because I would be sitting there crying. I would be sitting, y'all know me and my cancer emotional ass. I would be sitting there crying, right? But it's just like, and the fact that he's smiling and they wanted him to take, can you remove his shackles? The judge was like, no, we'll remove the hand shackles so that way he can write notes to his lawyer, but we're not removing the shackle where he's shackled to the chair and his feet. His feet were still shackled and he was still shackled to the chair, chained to the chair. I feel so bad for her. This is why I say, like, people that have children, and if your child is a teenager or a preteen and they are acting up and you know that they're trying to date someone that they shouldn't be dating and this, that, and the third, show them, sit down with them and make them watch. You crying, make them watch this damn trial with you. Because she probably never thought, oh, he loved me. He telling me he loved me when he's doing whatever. But he knows it's wrong to be with her. And if she jeopardized his life and threatened him, she didn't know that when she said, I'm tired of this and you only doing this and blah, 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 and, threatened to expose their relationship. She didn't know that when she said that, she put herself in immediate danger. That was the day before he unalived her. Read it. April 22nd. Read it. But like I said, when she got to that house, I don't know what he said to her, but at some point in time, it hit her, he's going to kill me. So all those times she ran away, and all those times that her parents took the phone, they took her phone, and he gave another student in her school, in her class, $1,000 to give her a phone so he could still talk to her. It's sad that her being a child and just, we all rebel. Many of us rebel, right? Many of us rebel growing up. But it's sad that her rebellion led to her death. And this is why I say, if your child is not listening, make them sit down and watch this damn case. Make them sit down and watch it. I don't want this to happen to you, baby. But you think you know everything. And some of these boys, you don't know who they are. There was another young boy, I think it was on See No Evil. He unalived the girl. She said she was pregnant. The girl wasn't even pregnant. She thought she was pregnant. She wasn't pregnant. He unalived her. I think they found her in the lake. Her sock. And then the bricks is what, and then See No Evil, right? With the cameras. That's what that's how he got caught. But he was in high school. But the mother in them was, the mother wasn't in, I don't know, she was living with the grandmother, the grandfather, whatever, and she went out at night to go see him and never came back home. But like I say, young people rebel. It shouldn't be the death of them, though. But we have to tell these young people, you don't know who these adults are. You don't know. So sad. It's so sad. And I don't even want to think about like what she thought, like, oh my God. That first plunge. And I mean, that's personal, right? This going into me, that's personal. I'm looking him in his eyeballs as he killed me. I know she wanted to be famous, but this is not the way you will want to be famous. And then people say, why are you not going back to the Gambia? I recognize demons when I see it. I'm not going to put myself in a position where y'all are making videos about me. Shrek would trash me in the video. She died. It's her fault. She did that. Right? No. But I'm an adult. I have life experiences. She was 14. He'd been grooming her since she was 11. December 9th. Investigators believe the death is a homicide that occurred earlier in the year through the cause of death, though the cause of death remains undetermined. Wait, okay. Wait, hold on. November 18th. Hold on. Law enforcement tells November 18th, 2025, law enforcement sources tell Eyewitness News that David is now considered a suspect. This was in November 18th. Sources say he is not cooperating with investigators. Why would he? Despite statements from his PR representatives. Investigators believe the death is a homicide that occurred earlier in the year, though the cause of death remains undetermined. December 9th, 2025. We're getting there, y'all. The medical examiner ruled Celeste's death was a homicide caused by 2 penetrating injuries to the torso. So the same person that just wanted to smash is the same person that allegedly took her life. I say I love you, and then I rob you the next day. We're intimate one night, and then the next night you try to kill me. You rob me. You stab me. December 9th, 2025, the medical examiner's rule, the autopsy report is not immediately released to the public. It has been released to the public, and that's why they're ruling it as a homicide, because other than that, with the decomposed, they had to really check her bones and everything, right? Because everything else is decomposed, the skin, blah, 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 not to get too graphic, but they had to check the bones to see if there are any injuries to the bones where her body will talk to the medical examiner and tell them what happened to her. So thankfully that there were penetrating injuries. Can you imagine a penetrating injury to the rib? He did that with force, right? January 15, 2026. David's parents, Colleen and Dawood Burke, are subpoenaed to testify before a Los Angeles grand jury regarding Celeste's death. Oh, I would love to have read the grand jury. I probably got to pay for that. I would love to have read his parents' testimony to the Los Angeles grand jury. I would love to have read that, because what would they have said? Well, he brought Celeste to our home in hold on. He brought Celeste to our home in February of 2024, right? Last year, he brought her to our home in Texas, and y'all didn't say, son, she is too young. You need to leave her alone. You need to take her ass back and block her and never talk to her ever again. But they didn't say that to her, right? They didn't say that to him. I would love to have read the grand jury testimony of his parents. Oh, I would love to have read that. Colleen and Dawood Burke. Y'all not going, your son, your son brings this girl to your house, a teenager, a fresh teenager, because she was 13 and he was 18, and he met her at 11. Is it because he was bringing, because you saw how much money he was making, Colleen, that you didn't say anything? I hope the internet dragged y'all ass, because he brought her to the family home, right? That's what it says. He took her to London. He took her to Texas to meet his family. And y'all didn't say anything? Internet gonna drag y'all. Gonna drag you. You can't hide, boo. January 17th, 2026, Celeste's passport card is found by a Caltrans worker off of SR 154 in Santa Barbara County. Maybe he was getting rid of her stuff. He was in Santa Barbara County, right? They say he allegedly kept going to Santa Barbara County, the same area where David had previously visited, according to prosecutors. I told you I haven't read this. I don't think any information from grand jury proceedings is allowed to be. Yeah, I know. Greetings. Let me greet you properly. Unforgivable sins. Happy Saturday. I know it's not. I just wish that I could read it. Now, in the courts, I wonder what's going to come out. Ever? I really, I know I can't read it. Unforgivable sins. I don't think any information from grand jury proceedings is allowed to be disseminated, made public. I would love to. It's just me thinking, if I could be a fly on the wall, because those questions that they asked. So whatever they said, the grand jury was like, yes, you should indict. We recommend an indictment, right? Because they knew. State is showing a small part of what they have on David. Yes. Okay, that is the purpose of the preliminary hearing, to show the evidence that they have. Okay. And I've never, this is like, I know that they said in the state of California, they have preliminary hearings. I know I said this in the beginning of the video, but I think certain things, because of this case and because it's so high profile, this preliminary hearing is a big thing, right? Because I know they had preliminary hearings before, because that's how they do in the state of California. But it's just that now we're like, whoa, preliminary hearing, like, holy crap. But that's because this case is such a high profile case, and it's so heinous. Not just that, he's a celebrity, because like I said, I don't know who the hell he is. He used to be a video game streamer. I don't know who he is. But what I do know is the heinousness of this crime is what has everybody like, what the hell? What the F? That's what we just like, to a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. She had just turned 14. I will flip out on my sons. They wouldn't even think about dating some little girl. You see what I mean, Denise Ann? You see what I mean? But he then brought the girl to the family, then took her to London, and nobody said anything. Is it because he was a celebrity and the mom was in charge of the money, working with the financial advisor? So she wanted to make sure, she didn't want to shake the boat. Oh, my son got all this money. Well, now your son about to lose all this money, because he about to pay all of this money to prove that he didn't do it, but all of this evidence, and then he had the nerve to plead not guilty. I mean, innocent until proven guilty. But Jesus, all of this evidence, they are ripping him. Everybody, all the streamers are like, I don't know how he's getting out of this. I mean, especially with the evidence that came out yesterday. Okay, so with the fact that she was only 14 and charges relating to that, he is definitely going to prison. He met her when she was 11. And then go tell the detectives, I didn't know her age. Well, how is she traveling to London with you, and Vegas and Texas? How is she traveling with you, sir, boy, young man? Because I have to put dates in, birth date, when you buying that plane ticket. So who bought the plane ticket? And how did they find her passport card? We're gonna talk about the parents though. They showed videos and pictures of the two of them engaged in, oh Jesus. Okay. because it was alleged that they made a Schmex tape, right? So I think, let me see. It was said that Trapmore Ross, right, said David's texts to Celeste are horrific. Now, and it says this is evil. It says he says to her, "I'm sending you 10 bands," and she allegedly said, "Cause we smashed 10 times." He said it was 6 actually. Laughing emoji. She says, "Can't believe we made 15 Schmex tapes." She didn't know what she was getting herself into. She didn't know. She was a child and he groomed her. But I'm not going to sit here and say that she didn't know what she was doing was she didn't know that what she was doing was wrong. She knew. But I can't say if I was 13 and I'm talking to a guy. Well, first of all, if I was 13, my mother would be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I used to try to talk on the phone to boys. I didn't know that when I pick up the phone, I'm like, try to pick it up real slow. She's like, "Get off that phone." I'm like, "Damn, how the hell does she know I'm on the phone?" Now, one day I was in the room and somebody picked up the phone in the other part of the house and I heard it beep. I said, "Oh." So what did I do? My sneaky ass, right? That's why I say it's by the grace of God that I'm still alive. My sneaky behind, I would come in there, act like I'm talking to them, and I would put my hand on the side and turn the ringer off. We sure know how to get away with shit, right? Children know how to get away with stuff. We know how to get away with stuff. She ran away from home several times, sadly. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So she knew, right? Can't believe we made 15 Schmex tapes. He's going to prison for that. I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you, unforgivable sins, because that can be proven. Excuse me. I feel like other things can be proven as well. Him taking her to London, I feel like that should have been another charge. You're taking an underage girl, not just across state lines, but you're taking her somewhere internationally. But both families, his family knew. We're going to talk about her family. We're almost done. So it says February 12th. So January 17th, they found Celeste's passport card, right? By a Caltrans worker. February 12th, 2026, the Burke family challenges the subpoenas in Texas, arguing they are denied due process. His family created this monster and they should be dragged for it. You are challenging the subpoenas in Texas, arguing they are denied due process, but y'all didn't think to tell this boy, "Hey, stay away from this young girl. Stay away. She's too young for you." They didn't think to say that to their son, did they? No. February 13th, 2026, a Texas appeals court denies the family's petition requiring them to comply. So they're trying to keep things a secret to try to keep his money, because y'all do know that they're out there looking for a new entertainment lawyer, right? That can't. And why the hell did my internet just say reconnecting like I'm not on my home internet? Comcast, don't be acting like that. They're out there looking for a new entertainment lawyer. For what? This boy is going to prison. All of that money that he has is going to go towards his defense attorneys. They still have the financial manager on retainer. He's getting paid $7,500 a month. Yes. Thank you, Brian Ensign, for that information. February 25th, 2026, Eyewitness News obtains Texas court documents stated David is the main suspect. In the filings, David Burke is labeled the target with allegations including one count of 187. Documents again detail the dismemberment with body parts in the 2 bags in the vehicle's front trunk. The family's attorney says they are still fighting the grand jury appearance. Because whatever was in that grand jury, the questions that is in that grand jury appearance, they know that that will be detrimental to their son. But you could have avoided this, Colleen and Dawood Burke. Dawood. I wonder what name that was. That he a foreigner? But they could have avoided this by telling your son to leave that damn little girl alone. Y'all could have avoided this. But too many of these families be keeping secrets. April 16th, I'm going to get to the comments, y'all. April 16th, 2026, David is arrested in connection with the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He is arrested at 5 p.m. at the Hollywood Hills residence. That's what we saw. And booked at 11:12 p.m. Pacific time at LAPD 77th Street Station. He is held without bail. Booking records list him as 5'5", 125 pounds. Didn't I tell y'all that he's little man syndrome? But that doesn't mean you go and date a child because you little. It means you go and find a little ass woman your age. You think there aren't any 18-year-olds your age? You know how many women were probably, oh my God, David Burke, D4vd, blah, blah, blah. I'll be your whatever, right? He could have got someone of age. He did not have to go after this 11-year-old girl. That means he is who he is from gay. Right? We at April 17, 2026. So 11 years old is 5th grade. He groomed a 5th grader. Yes, Denise Ann, because it said when she was 14 or something, 13, she was in the 7th grade. Yes, exactly. You grooming somebody in elementary school? What the hell is going on? And his parents didn't say. Y'all, I can't deal. Read the article. All the dates are in there. I'm like, this is why I'm just like mouth hanging wide open, because I didn't read this before the fact, y'all. I didn't read this before the fact. So they okay, all right. Yes. Tay, I haven't followed this case as well as I normally would. Been enthralled with the Siders case. There are too many. I don't even know the Siders case. There are too many criminals. I swear to God, y'all, it makes me want to be FBI. There are too many damn criminals. Every time we turn around, I'm like, oh my God, Diddy in a fight, this, that, and the third. He in solitary confinement. We got the Nolan case. We got the Carmelo Anthony case that just went to that was trial. That was finished. We have too many cases, and I'm like, I've been enthralled in school. Shout out to me. I finished with an A, college algebra. Woo woo. Y'all, I'm so happy I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, well, I ain't got to study. I do feel a little guilty because I'm not studying, right? Because I've been studying nonstop for 8 weeks. This is mind blowing, sis. I caught up yesterday. Unforgivable sins. I caught up yesterday because I was like, man, do I want to go out to LA? No, Shantae, you ain't got time to be going out to no LA. You need to finish unpacking this damn house before the semester begins again, right? But I've been following my boy Brian Ensign. I've been following him, right? And Mark the Shark is out there. They had to have known Celeste was underage. They knew. This is what I was saying. If you talk to an 11, 12, 13-year-old, we know that it's a child. So when dudes say, oh, I didn't know, did you ever talk to her? Well, yes, then you knew. Shut the hell up. You knew, right? Okay. Don't drop the soap in front of me. Oh my God. Mr. Baby Oil. Yes, he was in a fight. I don't know if the picture was real, but it looked like he got stomped out. I don't know. He's in my hometown. He's in Jersey. My home state, not my hometown. He's in Fort Dix Federal Prison in New Jersey. But I think he's going to be in solitary confinement for 30 days. But I mean, it's nice that Diddy is getting what he has given. He was mean and nasty on Meet the Band, and he gangster and this and that, right? He's just beating everybody. And how many times have Diddy been arrested and investigated for different things? So he's just getting what he put out. It shouldn't be easy for Diddy in prison, because Diddy should have got way more than 50 months, right? He should have been charged with racketeering. He should have been convicted of RICO charges. But he got money, right? And the black man worship. They like, he didn't do it. I'm like, whether the girls stayed, they shouldn't have stayed. They've been through a lot with him. Diddy should have got RICO charges, in my opinion, right? and he did not. So since he didn't get the time that he got, it shouldn't be good for him in prison. For everybody in there, like, this is Diddy, that he always singing and dancing in the videos. Well, we gonna get him. I'm sorry. I'm an eye for an eye, girl. I am. Cider, 16 children found living in total severely. Oh, okay. What state was that in? Unforgivable sins. This is just too much. This is just too much. This is just too much. Happy Saturday, Elisa. I saw you this morning. I did a live this morning, y'all. A 76-year-old is missing in the Gambia. But the 15-year-old was found in the Gambia. Y'all see the pictures? 15 years old. What would their parents? This is a Muslim country. What would their parents? I'm like, this girl looking like she a video vixen. She's 15. She went to a grade 9 passing out party, right? They passed ninth grade. So, she went to a party, and then they couldn't find her. She was missing since the 17th. They think she was laid up with some dude. 15 years old. So now the Gambians are like, well, what happened? Where was she? Did y'all check the Bigelow apartments? Oh, the rent must have been was finished. Oh, the honeymoon is over. These girls got to stop being so grown. But this is what's going to happen. This is not going to be the end. This is, unfortunately, Celeste is not the first, and she's not going to be the last. It's just sad that this has happened. Children. Okay. All right. Ohio. Well, Shrek should be covering that. She's in Ohio, right? Vinton County. Thank you so much for that. City of Hamden, population 700. Well, we know people knew what was going on in that place if the population was only 700, right? Unforgivable sins. But how many people keep their mouth shut? All right, let's get this. He did it in a whole lot more, right, Eliza? I agree, Saint. I was just talking to somebody about that. Like, there are some people that aren't able to have children and want children, and people have them and they abuse them. There's a little girl, she's Indian. They found her in a trash bag, in a trash can in India or something like that. And somebody that's Indian that lives here, she's very independent. She didn't get married the way her family told her, but she ended up adopting this little girl. And I thought she had her since she was a baby, and come to find out she had her for 1 year. The little girl was 3 years old when she came here, but she's teaching her the culture and things like that. The little girl, they're so cute together. And she doesn't have a husband. She's taking care of the child. So adoption, if I wasn't older now, and I'm like, children, I don't know damn children, but I feel like I would have adopted. So instead of me adopting, I'm going to start a foundation, and I want to help the girls that are in group homes, to help them to be girls, right? To help them to grow into women, to show them that they can go to school for free, to show them that they can have healthcare for free. If I got to go we going to get our hair done, right? Tell the group home people you want money to go get your hair done. We're going to go and get our manicure and pedicure. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go shopping, to teach them how to be girls, so they don't end up go from a group home to the corner or to a pimp. That I don't have any children. That's what I want to do. I want to start a foundation for that. Okay, so let's get back to this. So he was 5'5", 125 pounds. He was a little dude. Right? But he should have. There are women that are 4'5", 5 feet, right? He didn't have to go with a 13-year-old. He should have went and found a grown woman. He didn't have to go find a 6-footer, because that's gonna make him look stupid. 125 pounds. He couldn't. No, he is a certain type of person, and it's sad that his parents were trying to get the grand jury appearance. They're fighting the grand jury appearance. No, y'all deserve 9-9. Y'all deserve to be exposed, and they better be happy that the grand jury appearance is not exposed, is not released to the public. They better be happy about that. because they could have stopped their son from doing what he did. April 17, 2020. And I'm not talking about the allegedly unalive, and I'm talking about the blatant sleeping with someone that is not, that you shouldn't have been with, period. But the girl knew it. I'm tired of this. All we do is be intimate and you hang out. I deserve more than that. That was a month before she was unalive. Now he realized, oh man, I got to go get another 11-year-old because this one's waking up. ABC, April 17, 2026, ABC News learns through investigative sources that the Los Angeles County medical examiner rules Celeste's death a homicide. The manner of death remains unknown. Sources reiterate that the body is just, I don't want to keep saying that, stored in trash bags, stored in 2 bags and placed in the Tesla's front trunk. Severe decomposition from the summer heat hinders the determination of a specific cause. That's what I was saying, right? Poor girl. She looked like she was taller than him. Oh, Jesus. April 20th, 2026. David is formally charged with first-degree 187, continuous schmexual acts, lewd and lascivious schmexual acts with an individual under 14 years old and mutilating the human remains of a body. And like I said, he should have also been charged with taking a child across state lines, right? Across international waters. That's federal. Maybe depending on what happens, the federal government will come after him as well, because he took her to London, right? Who knows what's going to happen after that? The fact that they had matching tattoos speaks volumes. Yes. So she knew and he knew, but she just didn't know that he was grooming her. And like I said, 13 years old, or 11 years old, 12 years old. He's this video streamer. They know who he is. He's an artist and this, that, and the third. Of course, a girl is going to be like, oh my God. How many of them young girls love Justin Timberlake? Oh my, Justin, I love him. Justin's my husband, right? But it was him. He knew he was wrong. She knew it was wrong, but she is underage and she's being groomed. Yes. I don't want to get into that, but he makes his first court appearance and pleads not guilty to the charges. He remains in custody on no bail. Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hotchman, Nathan probably make money, alleges David had a long-term intimate relationship with the underage girl while he was an adult, and he unalived her to protect his career. Chop her, leaving her in the car. April 21st, 2026. Celeste's family makes their first public statement through their attorney about the case involving David. They describe her as a beautiful, strong girl who loves to sing and dance. We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste, they write in a statement. That's Celeste's family that wrote that, right? We're going to talk about her family. April 22nd, 2026. The medical examiner's office officially releases its report naming Celeste's cause of death, multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects, right? This was April 22, 2026. The report also shows there were presumptive positives for, oh my God. The report also shows there were presumptive positives for benzodiazepines and methamphetamine, methamphetamine MDMA in her system. Aren't those date grape rugs? Oh my, he was just doing whatever with her. He was living out his weirdest fantasies with this young girl. It says his phone contains significant amount of child pornography. He was a PDF file, and his family knew. So I agree with you, Denise Ann. She probably wasn't the first young girl he was messing with. Who knows what's going to come out in court, right? Maybe the prosecutors are keeping that Maybe they're keeping that under hush hush until the case, until the trial. So it says April 23rd, 2026, David returns to court for a hearing where he appeared in handcuffs wearing an orange jumpsuit. Prosecutors claim a significant amount of child blah, blah, blah graphy was found in the singer's cell phone. Prosecutors say lengthy investigations by the LAPD and DA's office resulted in gathering more than 40 terabytes of data. Damn. It's unclear what type of evidence they hold. What I say, boy. My cousin told me, girl, you should be a lawyer instead of an accountant. I'm like, a lawyer turns me, when I try cases, it turns me into a totally different person. I don't need to be a lawyer and have a heart attack and effing die because I'm stressed out because people are stupid. Right? No. I just want to play with numbers all day and then travel. That's all I want to do. I got to cut this light on, y'all. Oh, let me take my chill vitamin for black girls. Okay, because I'll be eating dinner soon, y'all. Okay, that chili was banging. And just in case you want to know, that chili was mother effing delicious. Oh my God, it was so good. It's back to freaking 100-degree weather. It was 103 degrees at 10:30 this morning. I'm like, really, God? He's like, shut up. You like the heat. I'm like, yeah, I do. Okay, so I feel like they're going to hold the prosecutors, the DA's office, the prosecutor and the DA's office are going to hold on to that evidence for the 40 terabytes of data. They're going to hold on to that until trial. That's so the jury can hear that. What they're showing is enough to get to trial, in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not police, but in my opinion, I think that they're showing enough for the judge to approve this to go to trial through this preliminary hearing. Next court date is scheduled for April 29th when the status of the discovery will be discussed. A preliminary hearing is tentatively scheduled for May 1st. So we're getting up to where we are now. That's when evidence and testimony will be presented to show a judge that there is enough evidence to move to trial. All right? I'm telling y'all, I didn't even read this. I do love the law, but I use it against people. April 29, 2026. David returns to court and a legal brief is released, painting a gruesome picture of the case prosecutors are building against the singer. The date of his preliminary hearing is moved to May 26. Evidence will be presented and witnesses are expected to be called. So I guess they were, I don't know if that was his defense, but they were pushing it because it was supposed to be for May 26th. We're in July and we're just seeing the preliminary hearing now, right? April 30th, 2026. An updated death certificate for Celeste states it is unclear whether the teen was pregnant in the year before she died. Ooh, y'all do know that the evidence has come out that she was pregnant. Y'all heard that, right? We're going to get to that. They had enough info from his cell phone that will fill the Library of Congress 40 times. They said 40 terabytes. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Unforgivable sins. I was crazy over Donny Osmond and Michael Jackson. Laugh out loud. Now, imagine if you being young, you see those children that was crying for Michael Jackson. Oh my God, Mike. They passing out. I don't love a celebrity that much to be passing out. Seriously. But we were crazy over, I think all of us have been crazy over a celebrity when we were younger. Imagine if that celebrity gave us a chance. Oh, you're going to hang out with me. You see what happened with Justin Bieber hanging out with Diddy, right? God only knows what happened, but that Justin messed up. He's finally healing, right? Crystal Methy. Okay. I'm always talking about Crystal Methy or Chris Methy, right? Y'all get it? Crystal or Chris is the first name, last name is Methy. Y'all get it? Okay, so now here we go. April 30th, 2026, an updated death certificate for Celeste states it's unclear whether the teen was pregnant in the year she died. An attorney for Celeste's family shares a new statement addressing the recent developments. May 12th, 2026, as a brief status conference, a judge pushes the start date for preliminary hearing for David The hearing was scheduled to start on May 26th, but the start date has now been moved to June 29th. They moved it again, right? Because now we're in it now. The Los Angeles County District, we're coming up to the date. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office says it needs more time due to the large amount of evidence in the case. Okay, so it wasn't the defense, it was the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office making sure that they had everything in place. Boy, they probably had a whole bunch of people working day and night for this case. To make sure that they had, because it was such a large amount of evidence, to make sure that they had everything to present at the preliminary hearing, to make sure that the judge hears everything and is presented to the judge, and the judge agrees that, yes, this should go to trial. The hearing will take place over several days to determine whether there is enough evidence to require David to stand trial. I'm sorry. I think that there's way more than enough evidence, right? The LA County District Attorney's Office did a great job with presenting this evidence from day one. But this is why within an hour, they were showing pictures and they like, what the, right? The journalist was like, oh my God, within an hour of being there. Why? Because they knew that they had a lot of evidence to show within this small period, a small amount of time. So the judge also set another status conference for June 17th. All right, we got June 17, 2026. At another brief status conference, the start date for David's preliminary hearing is pushed back again, this time to July 21st, 2026. Here we are. Here we are. At least the dates that they say that they're doing is actual, real, right? This is why I say Gambia is not a real place. They, oh, this date, that date, oh, the judge, her finger hurt, oh, this. I'm like, and y'all want to talk about America? Get the hell out of here. Okay, David appears in court in an orange jumpsuit and answers, yes, Your Honor, when asked if it's okay to push the hearing to July 21st. He's like, yes, you could push it to when Jesus come back, because I don't want to stand trial. I don't, y'all got too much evidence against me. Her blood being in the garage, her body being in your trunk of your car that's registered to you. Boy, then you not knowing what your parents said in the grand jury appearance, you done out here. As you should be, right? As you should be. The next conference date is set for July 7th. July 7th comes, right? We're July 7th, 2026. We're almost there. Then we're going to talk about the family, y'all. Her family. David appears for yet another status conference, and this time both the prosecution and defense agreed to defense agreed to go forward with July 21st, 2026 as the start of his preliminary hearing, which that's where we are, right? At the multi-day hearing, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Charlene Almedo, the judge is a woman? I didn't know that. Will determine if there is sufficient evidence to allow the case to proceed to trial. This case is going to trial, in my opinion. July 17, 2026, a song purportedly, now this was the crazy part. This ninja is in jail on a no bail. He's in jail, right? A song purportedly by David briefly appears on Spotify before being removed from the platform after about 8 hours. Who is doing this? They still trying to get money? The track title, Marcinets, remain. Let me look at what this word means. What the hell? I want to see what this word means, y'all. Give me a second. Marcinets, Marcinets is the botanical phenomenon where certain deciduous trees such as oaks and beeches, not beeches, beeches, retain their dead, withered leaves through the winter and into spring rather than shedding them in autumn. Okay. All right. So the track title Marcinets. That's not how you pronounce it. Marcescence. 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 remained visible on D4D's Spotify page, but was no longer playable after it was taken down. Artwork accompanying the track showed David taking what appeared to be a mirror selfie. Well, that's just sad. That's just sad, right? That's just horrible. And what, this is funny. Now this is funny. Look, what did I say? Ray Donovan. It was just a commercial with the dude that played Ray Donovan. Right? That's real funny that's popped up at the bottom. But that's just sad. Like, okay, so you're in jail. Who the hell released that? Who released that? Who felt that it was comfortable to release? This is crazy. Who in the world, if they were looking for another celebrity entertainment lawyer, right? Who thought, oh, that's smart. He's in jail for this on a no bail bond, no bail charge, however you say it, no bail. He can't get any bail. Oh, let's release a song for him. Let's release a song for him. And what? I don't know. These people are weird. Okay, so now let's talk about the family, and then I'm gonna go, y'all, because I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. But I am so damn long-winded. But I ain't even gonna say I know this video was gonna be long. I know all my videos are long, right? I know all my videos are long, and I appreciate you all for always engaging. Now, let's get to this. Now, I know unforgivable sins. You were saying that the family should be charged. Her family should be charged for allowing her to date him. Now, let's just talk about this. Now, Celeste's father and stepmother doesn't speak English well. I don't know if y'all knew that, but her mother, her stepmother and her father. Now, I wrote father and stepfather. Why the hell did I write stepfather? But father and stepmother doesn't speak English well. So I'm saying this, like, I wonder how much they actually understand what's going on. Right? I wonder how much they can comprehend, even with a translator, with what's going on with this case. Now, because Brian Enton said he saw the parents in the hallway with no one around, and he said he felt so bad for them because they looked like they were on an island all alone. They look so sad. Of course they look sad, right? But they look like they were just on an island by themselves. Now, I say this because I know how I felt in a foreign country by myself, not understanding the language or the culture or the legalities when I was a victim of multiple crimes in the Gambia, right? I know how lost I felt. So if they don't speak English well, I know Celeste was able to finesse them. And we'll get into that. I know how I felt being over there, and I wasn't dealing with anything as serious as them. Yes, I could have died in the Gambia. Yes, I could have. With the demons I was dealing with, I could have been unalive and not sitting here talking to you all right now. So I know how they feel if they're in a country, they don't fully understand the culture, they don't really speak the language, and then this has happened. I know how they feel being a victim of a crime that has really messed you up. It shook your world, right? And just being just there, not knowing what's going to happen. The only thing is the difference between them and me being in the Gambia. Well, they're trying to hold David accountable. Nobody's trying to hold anybody accountable over there. That's the difference. And this is not a 187 case, right? But if Celeste was a first generation child, and this is just my opinion, y'all. If Celeste was a first generation child, then many parents are so happy to be in America and they want their children to be an American, right? So they give them anything. They give them everything they want by any means, right? Some of these young people, I know they're first generation in school they got $600 the Apple when I saw them, I was like the AirPods, I don't know what they're called. I don't really like Apple, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about Apple, right? It just doesn't work for me. I'm a Samsung. I'm an Android girl. But they were nice. I was like, ooh, those are nice. What are those? I'm looking, what are those? She was like, oh, these are Apple AirPods. I was like, that's Apple? They were nice. So I didn't ask her how much she paid for them. I went online. What? $500 and almost $600? Y'all wowing, right? But I see there were foreigners that were in our family, and I see how they bought stuff for the children. Like, oh, I want this game. The boy is like 10 years old, and he wants a game that is highly violent and is 17. And she's like, oh, can you buy this for him? I'll give you my card. And I'm like, no, he's not 17. He doesn't even listen to you, right? This is 17. But some of these foreigners, they just want their children to fit in so much that they will buy stuff for their children that their children shouldn't really be exposed to, right? And I see that some of these young people, the parents they come here, they don't want to learn the language. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm not learning English. Well, if you don't learn English, you may be put in a position that you don't know how to maneuver because you didn't learn the language. But if I come to your country, you will want me to learn your language. So now the children say, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And the parents just go out and buy it. Whether they're struggling, they just want their child. You're an American, we're in America. We want you to be an American. So do I feel like she was able to finesse them? Yes. Now, let me just move forward with my notes so I don't go off track. So we did hear that the parents tried to stop Celeste from seeing David, right? We saw that they reported her missing, right? But if you knew who she was with, I said, I wonder if they called the police. Yes, Celeste would have been mad at them, but maybe she'd still be alive, right? Did they call the police? They called the police and reported her missing, but when you found out who she was with, you think that they were going to go to the police and say, well, it's that celebrity. People that are in foreign countries don't even go to the police for themselves. They don't go to the police for themselves. People that are from Mexico and Gambia and Kenya and certain countries and Pakistan, they hate the police. They hate the police. They hate the police in their country. So they're not going to go to the police. Even it's weird because like when I look at some true crime shows here and someone has been unalived and it's a foreigner and they were like, I think it was like in an Asian community. I think it was Filipino, not sure. But they were like, you know, we don't trust the police in our country, so we don't trust the police here. Then you don't know who's legal and illegal. People that are illegal, they're not going to go to the police. Oh, officer, I would go in. This guy, he's a celebrity right here. He is spending, the police tracked Celeste's phone. They checked the phone numbers and that's how they ended up at David's house. And he lied. I met her, she not here, whatever he said, right? It's in the article. But if they knew that, come on, if she went to Vegas, she went to London, she went to Texas, they spent all this time together in a significant amount of time in 2024. What? But maybe they didn't know about the social media because she was all on social media with this dude. I would have been all up in her phone, right? So, okay, I'm not getting, see, I'm not getting, I see the comments coming in, but I'm not getting those comments. Give me 1 second. See, Tisa says, um, David's helped Celeste get a Bor and she was 13. David's mom disturbing role. Oh, this is the mother. Oh, they got the picture of the mother up there. Tisa Tells has a picture of the mother up there. So this is my thing. It was determined that Celeste was Prego at one time, and she got an abortion, a Bor. And the comment was, it was text messages. She was like, well, he was like, I'm sorry, I had to put you through this. And she was like, it's okay. We both, neither one of us can take care of a child. Financially, he could have taken care of a child, but he needed to get rid of that evidence that she was with baby, that she was with child, right? By him, and her being underage and him being a grown person. Could it have been recording company since they have given him advances? It could be. But that would be stupid on the recording company, right? But they all want money. It could be. It could be. I just don't think it was. I don't think that maybe if the recording company released it, Unforgivable Sins, maybe they're like, oh, well, we want him to go to prison, because I don't think whoever released it should have known that it won't be good for his, it will not be good for his case, period. In my opinion, it wouldn't be good for his case. They got the preliminary hearing coming up, and he releasing, or they're in the preliminary hearing, and all of a sudden, I think it was before the preliminary hearing, and all of a sudden, oh, he releasing a song. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Spotify was like, not today, sir. You're not on our platform. They not gonna be boycotting our platform because you are on trial for unaliving this young girl and all of these lascivious acts. No. We're taking that shit down. I had a defiant teen daughter, but I slept on a beanbag chair in the hall outside of her bedroom. No way she was getting out without me knowing. Like, Unforgivable Sins, that this is what I mean. Fighting for your child, because the child doesn't know. A defiant teen, they're out, oh, I'm smarter than my parent, then blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? You fought for your child. Girl, you think, where the hell are you going? I got the things on the window. You open up that window, the alarm is going off. Where do you think you going? But I don't know. Like, how I do see how some people feel that are older, that come to this country, and they have this preconceived notion of America, and they just want to stay in their bubble, right? I'm not learning. What are you in this country for if you're not going to learn the language? Learn the language so you know what is going on. But I'm Latin. I'm Spanish. I ain't learning I ain't learning the English language, and we gonna speak Spanish. Well, this is why sometimes they're in horrible positions and they don't know. I mean, some of these people that I go to Zumba with, they have great jobs. They marry rich white men, but they have okay jobs, right? Some of them have okay jobs. Some of them I don't know if they even work, right? They just look good for their husband, right? But they still don't speak. They don't speak English well, because all they speak is Spanish. But to be in a country, go take an English course, read some English books, learn the mother language of the country. Now they're sitting there broken. I feel bad for them, but they should have went to the police. Hey, she's dating him. Maybe they didn't have any proof. I don't know. I ended up getting a 5-year protection order to keep young men away from my kid. Good for you. First of all, let me just, a round of applause for you, sister. She's now 37 and has thanked me several times. You fought for your child because she didn't know any better. They just like, oh, I love him. Hormones jumping like a disco, not realizing they're putting themselves in adult positions that they're not ready for. And we don't know. Like, look at some of these adult girls, these young women that go on dates with dudes, and then the girl that ended up chopped up. You don't know who these people are. And children don't know. This is why God gave children parents. But how many of these parents just, oh, this is my friend. This is my best friend. They living vicariously through their child. And it's all it's all ethnicities, right? The girl end up unalive, and they like, oh, well, they've been together since she was 9 or whatever the age was. And they were like, she was a young girl. She wasn't even 18. She was like a teenager, a young teenager at like 12 or 13 years old. And they were like, oh, well, she had boyfriends before him, but he treated her the best. And I'm sitting here like, you dumb mother son of a lover. What are you saying? But they want to be their child's friend. They don't want their child to be angry with them, right? Elisa says this is so true because I didn't know there was age appropriate video games until my son told me. When my daughter wanted a car driving game, he told me she's not old enough to play that game. I told the woman. And the boy is from Pakistan, so all he want to do is shoot stuff. And then I'm like, look, you are in this community with a bunch of Caucasian people, and you want to act like your son is white. He is too brown. He has a thick enough Pakistani accent. He cannot pass for white. But if he gets into a situation, at that time, they were like, Muslims, Pakistani people, they this, that, and the third. And the stuff that he talks about squatting. No, it's not squatting. It is squatting, right? Where you posting people address, you calling the FBI on them. And it's just like, she's like, my children are American. I tell them they're American. I said, no, boo, they're Pakistani American. But then she don't like black people. Married into our family and don't like black people. I'm like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Mom, make sure you tell Shantae I bought a house. No, your cousin that you're married to and have children bought a house, boo. Let's not play this game. That's another Muslim that's married to their cousin. And I could totally call ICE on her ass. But anyway, Biggie Smalls was who taught me about parental guidance. He grew up and ended up in prison. Yes. See, because you knew unforgivable sins. The boy that she was protecting her daughter from grew up and ended up in prison for DV against his wife. You very well could have saved your daughter's life. Because like what's happening now, I just feel like I understand. You shouldn't have felt stupid, Elisa, because so many times it said he's the one that helped me set up parental control on all his sister's phones too. So many times the parents are just, y'all are just trying to survive. And there's so many things that you're fighting against to save your children. So what do we say? It takes a village. And your son is a part of the village helping you. So you shouldn't have felt stupid. You should not have felt stupid at all, right? Because the village was, your son was part of the village, mom. And a lot of times the young people, the stuff that's going on now, I don't understand because that's not my generation. So I have to, I used to ask my goddaughter, well, what is this? And use ChatGPT. I'm like, oh, I'm suffering through things. And I don't know why I feel like I got to suffer through things, right? I'm suffering through things. And they're like, girl, just use a calculator. I'm like, I don't trust technology. When Desmos did me dirty and the professor was like, well, what is this? We didn't click log mode. Desmos was giving me totally different numbers. I said, I ain't got time for this. Let me use ChatGPT. I understand what I'm doing. I'm doing everything right, but these numbers are wrong. And I didn't know why. Right? But I feel like the parents should have called the police and even got charges brought against him, because she would have been mad, but maybe she would have been alive, right? Maybe she would have been alive. but she was defiant, not to, like I said, not to blame the victim, because we all have been there. Well, maybe not all of us, but some of us have done things where it's like, oh my God, thank God, God take care of fools and babies, because I was a damn fool and I could have ended up dead, right? My mother told me I couldn't go to this party. I'm like, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to this party. I walked across town, went and hung out with my cousin, and I walked up. Now we walk up Comstock to go to school, but in the daytime, Comstock is dark as F at night. Now, thank God I'm a big girl. Who knows if somebody was looking at me like I could get her? They're like, well, this girl big as hell. This is going to be a fight. Yes. I'm happy I'm tall and big. You ain't just going to snatch my ass up and put me over your shoulder unless you the rock, right? He picked me up, put me over his shoulder. I'm like, hey, right? I'm going to bite your ass. Right? I'm going to grab your and squeeze until your brain just explodes, right? That's what you teach your girls. If you're ever in a position, if you can get your, don't just hit them, don't just kick them there. You grab them and you squeeze. What? That is going to tear him up. He may never be able to have babies. You grab them and you squeeze, right? I'm happy you didn't unforgivable sins though. I'm happy you didn't, because that would have been a hot mess and then you would have been sitting in jail. Wow. Told them to call me. He had, wow. You see, rip the sucker off, squeeze. You grab and you squeeze. And I don't know what it does, but somebody said, yo, it's like their brain is going to explode, right? You squeeze them. That's the most sensitive part of a man. You squeeze until you can't squeeze anymore. And whatever he's doing, he's going to stop. Kick him and you punch him and you kick him and you punch him and then you run off, right? Or you just kick and punch once and then run off. Kick him in the face and then run off, right? Get that hit in. Get that lick in. Yeah. My parents were very strict when I was growing up. I thank God they were, because it kept me out of a lot of trouble. I'm the same way with my daughters. I thank my mom when I was 24 and I moved out and I got my first apartment. I said, thank you for not allowing me to be grown. Thank you for not allowing me to allow boyfriends, for not letting boyfriends spend the night. Because I mean, I was in high school and some boys were spending the night. But now I see these girls and I'm 47. I could have a 25-year-old if I had a baby at 22. And what are we seeing? We are seeing parents that didn't rate. What we're seeing is my generation, our parents not raising my generation, and now my generation have children that are in their 20s, and if they weren't raised, then what the hell? They let their children. Now we've seen a bunch of children, and then there's some 20-some-year-olds that have children. The children just do whatever the hell they want. I said, I don't want school. I'm so happy I didn't finish my early childhood education degree. I don't want to be a teacher. Some of these children are a hot ass mess, and I would be in prison. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let me just play with numbers for the rest of my life and travel and live my best life, sliding into retirement like a plane slides and lands. That's how I feel. That's what upsets me about I will walk barefoot through hell on fire for my kids and grandkids. I just feel like, I don't know. It's a different generation, unforgivable sins. And I know that you're older than me, right? I assume you're older than me. But it's just a different generation. I feel like my generation and maybe the 80s, 81, I was born in 79, 80, 81, maybe 82 up to 83, maybe 5 years after me, the children were being raised. But I don't know. Like I said, there were children that they were going to the club in New York. I'm like, we're in high school. Just like I said, the girl in the Gambia, she's 15. She was going since July 17th. For a whole, today, it said, thank you, y'all, for your prayers and whatever. She has been reunited with her family. So she was missing since July 17th. And today is July 25th. So for 8 days, she was out doing something that she shouldn't have been doing as a Muslim woman, a Muslim girl, because she's not even a woman. She's 15. as a Muslim girl. And what happens if she's no longer that's a W. What if she's no longer this, right? That means, how is she getting married? They do more tricking in the Gambia than in America, y'all. And they're like, Americans, shut the hell up. Because this 15-year-old got a hit. I thought it was two different girls. Until I read the name, I said, oh, D4vd. That's the same girl. Well, she looks like a little tiny girl here, and then she looks like a grown. So I don't know if it's two different pictures. Maybe when she was younger and a little bit chubbier, but she had on a wig. And then that girl looked like she's 20 some odd years old in the yellow. Out for 8 days. Well, why aren't the police asking questions? Girl, where the hell were you at? And who the F were you with? Oh, you don't want to answer? Then we are going after your parents. Arrest the effing parents. Don't charge them, because they do arrest people and don't charge them. Arrest your parents. She'll start talking. So who is this boy you were with? Because you're underage. This is what Gambians are saying. Why aren't the police asking? And this is on Gambia Police Force on Facebook. They're asking, why aren't you asking these questions? Who was she with? Why weren't they charged with kidnapping? Because she's 15. I'm like I said, I'm happy. I'm happy that I do not. Wait, what are you saying, Saint? Oh, they're angels in the Gambia. Oh, they're angels in the Gambia. Of course. Alhamdulillah. Please. We know better than that. Me and you know better than that. If nobody else tells the truth, me and you know better than that, right? But oh, you have stepdaughters born May 78. Yes. So you see, you could be my mom, right? But this is why I say there are generations. The previous generations raised these children. You know, now TV, social media, everything. The children have phones at 5. Why? They got iPhones. I wouldn't want my children exposed to the damn internet. I didn't get a phone until I bought my own phone. My mother didn't even have a cell phone. I bought my mother and my stepdad a cell phone for Christmas. I bought them a cell phone for Christmas, and they shared the phone, and then they realized, oh wait, this is nice, right? So then they bought their own phones. But excuse me, this fan is making my throat. If I had a child, you're not getting a damn cell phone until you can pay for it. Well, I get home, I get off the bus. Okay, you're gonna get a flip phone. You're not getting on the internet. My child will hate me. I don't care. You're getting on the internet on the computer at home, and you're sitting in an area where I can see your ass. Hey, put what you're doing on the TV, right? Because we can hook up the computer to the TV, the HDMI. Yes. You put your desk in there, hook so I can see too. Mom, what the hell did I say? I got homework to do. Yep. Put that on there so I can help you with your homework if you need help. I would be like a military parent. Why? Because I know the demons and the devils that are out there. And you have to fight for your children. No matter if your children hate you, oh, you, my mother this, my mother that. They may try to be grown and leave school, leave the house one way, and then no, you're wearing uniforms. You're not wearing regular clothes. You're in a school that wears uniforms. And I would try to instill in them when they're a child who you are. Having real conversations with the children. I probably have real conversations with children that are too young. But I'm like, shit, I don't know. They're giving the children the freaking, what is it? The HPV vaccination at 8 or 9. What 8 or 9-year-old is active? What the hell? So I don't know. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled at how grown these children are. My cousin like, well, they're in school. What, the schools don't have phones? Oh, they need the 5-year-old need a phone. When the hell is your 5-year-old not with you? I mean, they're in preschool, they're in school. What? Why? then you get them one of them damn alert phones. They can call 911. They can call the fire department. Fire department 911 is same. They can call 4 numbers, right? They had the fire department, the police. They have grandma, and mom, dad, whatever. They're giving these children iPhones. Some of these parents can't even pay the phone bill, and they're giving these children iPhones. So you are giving them something where they are exposed to the internet, and then Google and Facebook have these algorithms that as soon as your child gets on, what do? Y'all saw that Friday Night Frights where Google and Facebook and Meta was sued, and they had to pay a small amount of money. But then you see the line of people, of parents for children that have unalived themselves because of the algorithms. So it's like these companies are selling the data these companies. These social media platforms are selling your data to companies that can make money off of you. And you want to expose your child? Oh, Lord Jesus. I didn't know that. Thank you for that. Wow. Wow. Sis, I did not know that. Wow. Okay. There, I was talking about the HPV vaccination. Somebody just sent me a message saying that they can get HPV without schmecks, skin to skin, and childbirth. I just y'all, like what's his name? I forgot his name. Y'all. I can't. The Jamaican rapper. I can't. I can't deal. I'm just happy I don't. I salute you all that have children. I salute you all. I salute you all because, and you're doing the best that you can because you are fighting against so many other variables that want your children. And all your children may, well, I'm not saying for them to not know how to deal with technology because not know how to work technology because that is their generation. But the parents have to protect them with the technology because they're being, they're being exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. How in the world? Well, they said that David met Celeste online somewhere at 11. What am I just saying? What was I just saying? Right? So she was online. There weren't any parental parental advisory protection, and she meets a grown man that groomed her for 2 years and starts messing with her at 13 and then unalives her allegedly at 14. So there's proof in the pudding that we need to parents need to protect their children. Your children are not going to like you until they're grown anyway. She won't let me do what the hell I want to do. It's okay. Did we like our parents growing up? But she won't let me do what the fuck I want to do. I want to do this. I want to do that. They're like, hell no, you ain't going. Okay. Let me see. I thank God my 13-year-old granddaughter just got a cell phone, but she isn't the least bit interested in it. She would rather spend her time making crafts and cooking. Yeah, I love your granddaughter. I love your granddaughter, Unforgivable Sins, right? Because the people, her parents that are raising her, and along with, because it takes the village, y'all are allowing her to still be a little girl. And that's what it is. Some little girls still play with doll babies at 13. Good. Stay a child, because if they knew, Bill is a damn stalker. And I can't go and put a protection order against Bill, just like I couldn't get a protection order against my 60-year-old stalker, right? Once that real adult life hit, there's no going back. Like, oh my God, I want to be a child again. Nope, you crossed that line. Was an 11-year-old that just gave birth to a stepfather's child. Can't recall the state at the moment. See, the problem is, Purple Love says, the problem is these parents want to be their children's friend, not the parent. Sorry, y'all. I got my screen is jacked up. And they want $200 for me to fix this black mark on my screen. I said, I'll wait till I leave the country, maybe go to Mexico. Hey, can you fix my screen? Right? For real cheap. Or go down to the border. They have some type of like a food truck, but it's to fix cell phone screens. It's downtown. I think I need to go down there, but I'm scared to go downtown. I'm gonna go live tomorrow and talk about, y'all know it was a mass shooting in Tucson, right? Okay, we're not gonna get into that, but we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So it says Purple Love says they want to be the child's friend, not the parent. The children have enough friends. They don't need their parents to be their friend. Exactly, until they are older and they're paying their own bills. That's when you can be your child's friend. When they're young, no, you got to raise them. You got to say no. Hell no, you can't go. Hell no, you see. I would be that parent. My child would be like, I'm gonna kill her ass. But no, real talk, like not just telling them they can't go somewhere, but still taking them places and doing things as a family where they don't feel like they're missing out. That's the difference. I grew up in a church. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't wear nail polish. That's probably why I'm not a girly girl, right? I don't know. We couldn't do a lot of things. I wouldn't raise my child like that. I would, if I had a child, okay, if we can't do so, if you can't, I'm not allowing you to date, but we can go to the movies as a friend. Bring your girlfriends. We're all going to the movies. No, you're not spending the night at your girlfriend's house. Well, why? Because I don't know their damn brothers and fathers and whoever else. Matter of fact, I don't even know your friend, right? What if she's being wrong? And then she wanna you wrong. No. But that would be me, right? But I don't feel like it should be where the children should feel like they're missing out on something. But I feel like the parents should do stuff with their children. Don't just tell them they can't do something. Do something with them to replace it so they feel like they're not missing out. So they're not going to be sneaky like, I can't do anything. Because children, we get real sneaky. I was real sneaky. I was like, I didn't care. I'm a homebody. Oh, you're on punishment. Oh, who cares? I'm going to be home, looking at TV, doing what the hell I want to do, right? That was me. But I also knew how far I was going to go. I've noticed everyone doesn't think like me. And there are some children that Celeste didn't realize how far she could go until it's too late. Roblox. Oh, wait. Okay. Children are being groomed by Roblox. Look, yes, Chris Hansen is the one that had the TV show, right? People walking in. That is the oldest crime, just like prostitution is the oldest profession. It's not going to go anywhere because the powers that be are okay with, look at the states that was trying to have it where being with what David was doing, it's not illegal. Right? They were like, oh no, hell no. But who in the world in the state legislation thought this is okay? Look at how much time Gerald, what's his name? The subway guy, right? He meeting people in New York, 15-year-old, he got 5 years. And when I saw the documentary on the ID channel, I said, this dude he's weird as F. He should have got way more time than that. So I just feel like sometimes it's like, it's okay. It's okay, Jared, right? It's okay. I don't think that they hold people accountable for these crimes. Look at what happened with the Epstein files. People still like, release the Epstein files. They release it. Who the hell been held accountable? Who has been held accountable? We've seen pictures with people with children. These are little girls. Who has been held accountable? Not nobody. And I know that's a double negative. Not anyone has been held accountable. So I feel like Jared Fogle, thank you. I feel like this is why I don't know why David was so scared. Like, there are plenty of people that commit these crimes that are not really held accountable. So he probably would have been fine. He had enough money. But now you're not going to be fine because now you committed 187. You committed the ultimate crime that is punishable with the DP. I mean, he still won't die. California is like, people been sitting on death row for 30 years. I'm like, when you going to unalive him? Hey, the jury said, yes, he's done out here. And they're still here. Roblox is a $4 billion a year business. They don't care about parental controls. Nope. Money talks, BS walks, and they don't care. That's why the parents have to care. They like, yes, you can't hold a celebrity should be to whom much is given, much is required, right? But I feel like the celebrities are on some old, well, that's your child. This is entertainment. You're right. So this is why I don't let children listen to, you ain't listening to no damn Beyonce. You know your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. Is that lightning? Y'all saw that, right? No, you're not listening to Rihanna. You're not listening to Jay-Z. You're not listening to many of these grown adults that are singing stuff that you should not be exposed to. Well, my mom let me listen to it. You know what I tell them? I'm not your mama. Not the mama. And the children still want to hang out with me. I'm like, I don't know why. Because you're going to be a child. I'm going to take you to the pool. We're going to pack our lunch. I'm going to show you some responsibilities. Okay, so you get the juices. Y'all get the lunch, the chips. Get the chips you want. Because I was having like 2, 3 children. You think I'm spending my money? I don't have money. I don't have drug dealer money. I don't have that money to be out here feeding your children. And then you only want to give me $20 and I have 4 of your damn children? No. So what did I do? All right, we packing lunches. Take the $20, go and get stuff. What y'all want to get? We go to the store, and they love hanging out with Tay because they're going to do stuff. You're going to be a child. Children want boundaries. Children want boundaries. But I blame the parents. They let these children, that's my friend. You sitting there talking to your child about adult stuff. What the hell is going on here? I don't want to research. I don't want to be I don't want to be teaching these children. The parents don't want their children to be mad with them and are scared they won't like them. What did my grandmother used to say? You mad? Scratch your ass and get glad. So what if they're mad at them? So what if they're scared? But you're right, Purple Love. The parents are afraid. But who cares? Growing up, a lot of us didn't like our parents growing up because our parents said, you can't do this, you can't do that. They were telling us no. But some of these parents, these new age, soft parenting, the children do whatever the hell they want. I'm like, what's happening here? Did I go to bed and wake up in an alternate universe? What is happening? This is why I'm like, oh, Tay worried about herself. I don't have any children. I will help the children. I will still fly around and help children get an education. I'm not giving you money. I'm giving you school supplies so you can be successful in school. That's it. And helping the children that are in the group home to be a woman so they don't end up with Johnny as they PIMP. I don't know what you heard about me. I know. But I don't know what happened to the village. Don't say anything to my child. Well, your child is out here wilding for respect. Out here dating an 18-year-old. Doing whatever the hell they want. Like they grown. I don't know, y'all. The powers that be set up 50 years ago to trap our children and take their minds to make them do what they want them to do. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, Purple Love. Have y'all seen the hand piercings, Blue Ivy, Kim Kardashian? Wait, hold on. Have y'all seen the hand piercings, Ivy Blue, Kim Kardashian got? She's only 14 or 15. What did I do? Oh, my phone's wailing, y'all. Oh, hold on. My phone is wailing. It's doing whatever it want to do. It's acting like I touched something and I didn't touch it. So I think it had me pin one of your comments. Unforgivable sins. So, are you telling me that Kim Kardashian let her daughter get a piercing? Kim Kardashian we know what she is. We know what she is, and we know what she has done. And it's unfortunate that she thinks her children are her friends. And her daughter, it was funny as her daughter used to trash her. what North, that girl, she they said I used to see or they stopped showing me because I was like, I don't want to see this. But she used to troll her own mother. I think Kim was getting something done, right? You know, they have their crew or whatever, and her daughter was in the room. Her daughter didn't care that she was chubby. Her daughter didn't care. North is her father, okay, to the T. She is her daddy. She does not have a filter. She was like, so Kim said, North, you can't say whatever you want because you'll hurt people's feelings. Because I think she said something about what she had on was ugly, right? So Kim kept saying, right? I got you. I got you on Unforgivable Sins, Northwest. So she said, but Blue Ivy is a hot mess with her parents too. Right? They kept telling her at the Met, take your glasses off. Everyone kept telling her. Jay-Z came over there, take your glasses off. She was like, they created these monsters. I want to see what they like 15 years from now. But they have money, so they may end up like the Bushes. They drink, I'm white girl wasted. And then they have a great life, right? Because they have money and they have handlers to make sure that we're going to make sure our children are fine. They're just being children, right? They're rich. They're just sowing their royal oats and then they'll be fine. I don't know, right? Because she got her 13-year-old walking. They was like, oh, Blue Ivy got the walk like Beyonce. Well, Beyonce was groomed by Jay-Z. Was she not? Was she not? That's rich people problems. But so Kim was like, you hurt people's feelings. You can't say whatever you want, Blue. Not Blue. North, blah, blah, blah. So North says, well, what you had on, was ugly, like, I said, yo, Kim was mad as hell. I said, the comments was like, when you give birth to yourself and yourself trolls you, yo, North is a piece of work. She be trolling the shit out of Kim, okay? Like, Kim was just like, it's like, girl, you created this monster. That shit was funny as hell. Like, oh my, and she didn't care. But she letting that girl be too grown. I think she's an artist and nobody came to her concert. It was just a mess. It's just a mess. That's rich people. These rich people. I didn't know she had a piercing. I didn't know that either. I think something popped up in and when I sign on, I don't know why MSN is my damn what I sign on. I told him to do Google, but some of these articles come up and I'm like, X, I don't want to see this. X, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Like, because they'll be fine. North got billionaire mothers, billionaire father, right? North gonna be fine. She can do whatever the hell she want. But what happens when you let your child do all of this stuff before they're 15? What the hell are they gonna be looking forward to when they're 18? This is why we see a lot of these wealthy, rich people, their children are on rugs. They just wowing. Because are they being raised by their parents? No. Who they being raised by? Their nannies. And they just want attention. I don't know if y'all ever saw the show Audacity, The Audacity. I love that show. I can't wait till it come back on. So a hot ass mess. Tech billionaires and their children. But one of the girls, she would just do crazy stuff, right? Just crazy stuff. And why? Because her dad was a tech billionaire. And he created Alexander. Alexander was an AI bot that was a teenager. He like raised him and this, that, and the third. So he's raising the AI bot that's in his tablet, but he's not raising his daughter. And then I thought the girl was the wife was the mother. That's the stepmother. So the girl doesn't, the stepmother is just like, well, I don't even really like her. Like, I think the mom unalived her. So something crazy, right? But the girl just wanted attention. And it just so happens that at the end, it was like, she told the boy, like, you know, my father's, my parents are rich. My father's rich. And I need to stop, you know, living this life, and I just need to embrace, you know, I'm just doing stupid stuff like um court appointed therapist she had to go and see because she was a klepto. She just wanted attention. And we know with children, they don't care. Any attention is attention, whether it's negative attention, they just want attention from their parents. And she was just like, okay, my father's rich. So she woke up, and it just so happens that she saw her friend, something that the girl did. Her friend was blamed by her father. So the friend is two girls, right? They both fathers are tech billionaires. So the guy that got the tablet, his name is Mark or whatever his name is. And then the other one name is Duncan, right? Duncan had these little squares, and Mark's daughter stole the square from the house. She was at the house. And he kept saying, Duncan said that he was going to fire the nanny, and the daughter was like, no, don't fire her. So I think that, you know, because it's like the mother is not there. The mother criticized her because the mother was trailer trash. They both came from no money, and they have money now, right? And none of them, the mother criticized her because she's over, you know, she's not skinny. She takes her BMI. She always checking her, making sure she's not fat, right? That so the girl just eats because she's just depressed. The father is a psycho, okay? He's just psycho, right? Just wreaking havoc in Silicon Valley. And so I think the father assumed that his daughter stole the little square. And eventually he saw it in the school, in the display. He broke the glass, he got it back. So he said he thought his daughter was doing that. She wasn't. It was Mark's daughter that was the klepto. So Mark's daughter, now the girl didn't get into Stanford or whatever college it was. So the girl was going to unalive herself. Duncan's daughter was going to unalive herself. She went to stand in front of the train. But Mark's daughter saw her and was like, well, where is she going? So she followed her. Thank God she did. And she pushed her out the way. And they used to be best friends. But then they started, you know, whatever happened, you know, they weren't happy because their parents weren't in their lives. But this is what happened with rich people. They make all this money and their children are being raised by nannies. And they spent the night. They was like, she's still sleeping. She's like, yeah, oh, so and so and so and so slept over. And he was like, really? Yeah, because you don't even know that your daughter tried to unalive herself. And her best friend that they were used to be so close, and then they got older and was bumping heads and insulting each other. She saved her life. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next season. What's his name? Zach Galifianakis or whatever. He's a jerk in there. It's real. It's funny, but it has some real life stories. And I don't know. I guess I'm happy that I wasn't super rich and wealthy, right? Because rich people problems are totally different. I had enough problems, you know, in my life that I didn't need the rich people problems as well. But y'all, it's 8:30. I've probably been on here for 3 damn hours. Lord Jesus, it's been 3 hours, but it's been real. I appreciate you all. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gym. Thank you for the coins. Thank you for the super chat. I love you all. And thank you for joining me for this horrendous story on Saturday Night Frights. Tomorrow, I plan to go live. I'm out of school, y'all. I plan to go live tomorrow because I want to talk about some cases that happened in Tucson. Love you too, Unforgivable Sins. I love you all. Um, and the mass shooting that happened in Tucson. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but there was a mass shooting in Tucson. Thank you to my channel members, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great evening. Sleep well.